Chapter 20. 1,000 Spiders, 10,000 Poisonous Hands. Murong loves palm slashes towards the back of Li Fan's head. If it is solid, it can scratch 5 holes in the back of Li Fan's head. Together with her essence-sucking technique, she might be able to absorb the pure young body into her body. No. Why is my willpower so weak? Li Fan suddenly squats down and hugs his head with a conflicted look. Murong Ai's hand had already reached out and directly grabbed a pot of cactus. She immediately screamed in pain and covered her mouth with her other hand. Sister-in-law, what's wrong? Li Fan hears the scream and quickly stands up to ask. No, nothing. Murong Love bears the pain and hides her right hand behind her back. She barely squeezes out a smile. What's wrong, sister-in-law? Are you feeling unwell? Murong Love shakes her head. Are you sick? Let brother-in-law take a look. Li Fan takes a step forward. Murong Love is scared and takes a step back. In a panic, she uses her right hand to support herself on the windowsill. Ah! Murong Love finally screams. Sister-in-law. What's wrong, sister-in-law? Li Fan is shocked. What's wrong? What's wrong with this family? Why are they all acting like this? From afar comes Tai Zhu's shout. Son-in-law, Big Missy is here to see you. Murong Love's eyes are red. She rushes out of the room and bumps into Murong Ying and Tai Zhu. Tai Zhu is still holding the food box. Murong Ying looks at Li Fan strangely. Did you bully her? How would I dare? Li Fan cries injustice. I bully her? She should be the one bullying me. I'm such an honest person. How can you think of me like this? I should just kill myself. Take it easy. Murong Ying said faintly. All the furniture here is made of ancient wood. You can't afford to pay for any of them. Were they kissing each other? Li Fan was unhappy. Murong Bo looked down on him, and Murong Ying did not have any feelings for him. She only treated him as a tool to carry on the family line. Son-in-law, have some medicinal porridge first. Tai Zhu picked up a bowl of medicinal porridge and handed it to Li Fan. Not eating. Li Fan is in a bad mood, while Murong Ying frowns. If you don't eat, your recovery will be slow. When you meet a challenger, how will you deal with it? Just kill me. Li Fan turned his head and said angrily, as a man, how can you say such depressing words? Murong Ying immediately reprimanded Li Fan. Didn't you say that you wanted to be the leader of Wulin? Hurry up and eat your porridge. Go and practice. Not eating. Not going. Li Fan swung his sleeves and smashed the bowl. The medicinal porridge spilled on the ground, and the bowl was broken. Murong Ying's face darkened. She turned around and left. Son-in-law. This porridge was made by eldest miss who went to the mountain overnight to find a few kinds of medicinal herbs and then cooked it for you. Tai Zhu cleaned up the bowl and sighed. I am just a servant. I shouldn't say too much. Today, I was too talkative. Son-in-law, just treat it as nonsense. I know you are unhappy, but eldest miss also has it hard. With that, Tai Zhu cleaned up the floor, put the rest of the food on the table, bowed, and left. Li Fan was a little dazed. This porridge was personally cooked by Murong Ying? What's wrong with this woman? She is a stick and a carrot. Is she taming a beast? But why do I feel a little uncomfortable in my heart? The two of us obviously don't have any feelings for each other. Why would I feel sad for Murong Ying? I must be thinking too much. But Li Fan still silently opened the food box. Although it was like chewing wax, he still ate everything inside. He went back to bed and took a nap. When he opened his eyes again, the sky was already dark. Li Fan really couldn't lie down anymore. He ran outside and practiced a set of boxing. He sweated a little, and his mood became a little better. Needless to say, Murong's family really knew how to enjoy life. They built their house in the suburbs. The air was very good, and they could even see the galaxy in the sky. This was almost impossible in the city. The lake in the distance was also very beautiful. The sparkling lake reflected the bright moon. Li Fan couldn't help but walk over. In the end, he saw a familiar figure standing by the lake. Murong Ying was also standing by the lake. She was holding a sword in her hand, and she was waving it at the lake. She seemed to be practicing swordsmanship, but her mouth was muttering. I'll chop you to death. Bastard. Li Fan shrunk his neck. Damn. Isn't she using me as an imaginary enemy? So this girl is still angry. Forget it. I'll go and admit my mistake. I'm a boy. I can't lower myself to the same level as a girl. Li Fan comforted himself like this, and then walked toward Morong Ying. But who was Morong Ying? Just as Li Fan approached, he was already noticed by her. Morong Ying turned her head slightly, looked at Li Fan, and snorted. She sheathed her sword, and then with a light tap of her feet, her body lightly landed on the surface of the lake. Morong Ying's peerless movement technique and qinggong were also very high. She actually stepped on the lake water, and with a burst of qinggong, she floated on the water and swooshed to the other side of the lake. This woman, was she hiding from him? Li Fan even lost his temper. Morong Ying, young master must catch up to you today and explain clearly. However, his qinggong was not very good, and directly stepping on the water was definitely not possible. But when Li Fan saw some scattered lotus leaves floating on the surface of the lake, he immediately had an idea. He gathered a breath of true qi, and then with a few swooshes, his whole body lightly jumped into the lake. He landed on a lotus leaf, and his right foot tapped on the lotus leaf. Both his arms spread out, and like a crane flapping its wings, he patted out true qi to support his body. The lotus leaf sank slightly, and Li Fan's body floated up again, and landed on another lotus leaf, and continued to do the same. Crane flapping wings. Li Fan was like a light crane, walking on the surface of the lake on the leaves. He heard that in the past, Bodhidharma crossed the river on a reed, and he relied on lotus leaves to cross the lake. Morong Ying saw that Li Fan had caught up, and was slightly surprised. But she turned around, and continued to use her qinggong to leave. Hey, don't go. I have something to say to you. This girl was addicted to qinggong. After Li Fan landed on the ground, he put away his crane form and changed into his deer form. His body was almost stuck to the ground, and every time one of his feet touched the ground, his whole body could jump 3 to 4 meters away. Li Fan was almost proficient in the 5 animals frolics. Even if his qinggong was not as good as Morong Ying's, he was not inferior to her in chasing. The two of them, one in front and one behind. Unexpectedly, Morong Ying could not get rid of Li Fan. She suddenly lifted her body, and with a few steps, as if she was stepping on an invisible ladder, she jumped more than 5 meters high and jumped onto the roof. Li Fan put away his deer form and turned into his ape form. He jumped more than 3 meters high, and then his hands and feet nimbly climbed the wall and also followed on the roof. The two of them stepped on the roof of Morong's residence, chasing each other. Who is it? Taiju was patrolling the night, and suddenly heard some movement on the roof. He thought that it was a thief who had entered Morong's residence, but when he looked up, he calmed down. So it's a couple quarreling. Well, forget it. Let them be. Chapter 21. After chasing more than half of the Morong mansion, Morong Ying finally stopped on a roof. After chasing for a while, Li Fan's true qi was a bit unbearable. This Morong Ying, after losing her internal force for 11 years, her internal force is still so strong. Morong Ying stood there, both of her hands leaning on her sword. The bright moon above her head shone on her delicate body. Li Fan was slightly stunned. This Morong Ying under the moonlight really has some flavor. Finally not running away? Li Fan asked. Who ran away? Morong Ying lightly said, I was just running at night. Running at night, your uncle. Who would run at night with qinggong? I'll be a ghost if I believe you. Li Fan almost vomited blood, but after all, this matter was his fault. Thus, his tone softened and said, that, today, I was wrong. I'm not right. As a man, you shouldn't say these 3 words so easily. Morong Ying suddenly stretched out her hand and pressed her finger on Li Fan's mouth. I also don't like to hear these 3 words. Do you see this big mansion of the Morong mansion? Morong Ying once again interrupted Li Fan's words and pointed at the huge mansion in front of her. Of course, your house is really big. I thought it was the house of an ancient king. Li Fan was more or less envious. Unlike people like him who came from an ordinary family, Morong Ying was born with a silver spoon in her mouth. When I was born, the elders of the Morong family were very disappointed. Morong Ying said, they want a man to take over the whole Morong family, but I am a girl. This is too hateful. What era is this? Why are they still so patriarchal? Li Fan was filled with righteous indignation. However, Moronging said, this is a big family. It needs a bloodline to pass on. But so what if I'm a woman? When I was 18, I defeated all the men in the world and took the position of the chancellor of the Wulian world. What a strong woman. She became the leader of the martial world at the age of 18. Moreover, it was a girl. But thinking about it, he had absorbed 11 years of Morongying's power and was able to beat the successor of the rushing thunder palm until he vomited blood. I'll choose my own husband. Li Fan, I chose you. Will you disappoint me? But didn't you want to use me to carry on the family line? Li Fan finally asked the question in his heart. You want to rely on me to give birth to a child with a pure young body to carry on the ancestral line of your Morong family? That was indeed the original plan. Moronging nodded her head, but I saw more possibilities in you. I, Moronging, have never made a wrong choice in my life. Li Fan, I chose you. It definitely won't be a wrong choice. How long is your life? You're obviously 20 years old. Don't speak like an old man, okay? Li Fan couldn't help but ridicule. Li Fan. Moronging suddenly pointed her sword at Li Fan. Compete with me? Oh. Li Fan was surprised. Why? Are you still angry with me? I'm not angry. I want to personally test your strength. Moronging slowly said. If you want to prove that you're strong, then defeat me. Your whole family is very strange. Li Fan couldn't help but roll his eyes. I won't fight with you. My fist isn't meant to hit you. Moronging was a little unhappy when she heard this. Are you looking down on me because I'm a woman? Isn't your ego a little too strong? Li Fan said, I won't fight with you because there's no reason to fight. And don't worry, I said before that I will become the next martial arts alliance leader. This is not empty talk. You probably don't understand the difference between you and a real expert. Moronging couldn't help but remind him, you only have the strength of perfection. Only your inner force is a little strong. A real expert has the strength of the great perfection realm. They are 2 levels stronger than you. There are still 3 years before the next Martial Arts Alliance Assembly. In these 3 years, if you want to break through to the great perfection realm, it will be extremely difficult. What's so difficult about it? Li Fan laughed. Don't look down on a man's faith. You're really good at bragging. A deep voice came from beside the two of them. They turned their heads and saw Morongbo standing on the roof on the other side, wearing a Morong family cloak that fluttered in the night wind. Li Fan, you are the husband that my daughter chose, which means you are her disciple, Morongbo said and clapped his hands. A figure jumped up from the yard, somersaulted in the air, and landed steadily beside him. There's no need to wait for 3 years. 1 year later, if you can defeat my disciple, I, Morongbo, will recognize you as my son-in-law. Father you. Moronging seemed a little surprised, but Li Fan's temper also rose. He immediately said, let's compete. Who's afraid of who? Ha ha ha. Good, good, good. You have ambition. Morongbo suddenly laughed. Feng say hello to your opponent. Don't be rude. Yes, master. The figure in Li Fan's vision suddenly disappeared. He didn't know what strange movement technique he used, but in the blink of an eye, he actually appeared in front of him. At this moment, with the help of the moonlight, Li Fan saw the figure's appearance clearly. He looked handsome, but his figure was thin, and there was a kind of gloomy feeling between his eyebrows. He was also a one-eyed man, with a black eye patch on one eye, and the other eye seemed to condense the brilliance of 2 eyes. Moreover, he was obviously a man, but he had a ponytail. Li Fan, be careful. He is called Jiang Feng, my father's beloved disciple. Morongying's 1,000-mile sound transmission reached Li Fan's ears, and that Jiang Feng spoke. His voice was also very feminine. I heard that you are the husband chosen by eldest Mississippi. 1 year is too long. Let me test your strength first. Although he had already restrained his voice, Li Fan could still hear a trace of jealousy in it. Fuck, another admirer of Moronging. This old fellow Morongbo probably wants me to make a fool of myself in front of his daughter. I won't let you have your way. Li Fan was enraged, but Jiang Feng had already made his move. He put 2 fingers together and jabbed towards Li Fan's acupoint. When an expert makes a move, it will be clear whether or not it is real. This Zhang Feng's move was like lightning, and his attack was accurate, causing Li Fan's blood vessels to stiffen and his entire right arm to become numb. Be careful of his 12 acupoint punching hands, Mu Rongying reminded. Li Fan was not in a good mood. This reminder is too late. Right now, he was in the ape form, and his right arm was still numb. He directly swung his left fist, and true energy shook his sleeves, sweeping towards Jiang Feng. Ape long fist. This was the most basic fist technique of the ape form. Just a mere 5 animal frolics, and you still dare to make a fool of yourself. Jiang Feng sneered, and with a slight tilt of his head, he dodged Li Fan's long fist. I will let you know what is called real martial arts. Chapter 22. Jiang Feng raised 2 fingers on his right hand again and poked at Li Fan's armpit. This caused Li Fan's left arm to lose feeling and hang down weakly. Both his arms were temporarily crippled. Not being familiar with his opponent's martial arts, Li Fan suffered a great loss. After all, he was just a high school student. How could he know the dangers of the underworld? However, he was a man. How could a man admit defeat? Even if he lost his arms, he still had his legs. Li Fan immediately twisted his body. Using the strength of his body, he forcefully turned his legs horizontally in the air and kicked at Jiang Feng like a cannonball. Spirit monkey leaping tree. Jiang Feng hurriedly used his hands to block in front of his body and barely managed to block both of Li Fan's legs. However, the force behind the kick was not light. Jiang Feng was forced to take 3 steps back. Each step shattered a tile. Finally, he stepped on the edge of the house. Half of his body was upside down in the air, and he almost fell down. Oomph! He grunted. He probably did not expect to suffer a loss from a beginner like Li Fan. Jiang Feng leaped 2 meters high. He was as light as a gust of wind. His fingers poked at Li Fan's shoulder. Poochie! The strength of his 2 fingers was very shocking. They forcefully pierced into Li Fan's shoulder blade. However, Li Fan's eyes were red. He endured the pain and bit Jiang Feng's wrist. Jiang Feng screamed in pain. A piece of flesh was torn off by Li Fan. Courting death. Jiang Feng was furious. He raised 2 fingers on his other hand, and like a sharp sword, he went straight for Li Fan's eyes. Enough! At this moment, Mu Rongying suddenly appeared. Her left hand grabbed Li Fan, and her right sleeve swept towards Jiang Feng. She did not seem to use much strength, but Jiang Feng was sent flying and fell to the ground. Let's set the deadline for 1 year. Before he fainted, Li Fan heard Mu Rongying's heroic voice. Father, be careful of your disciple after 1 year. Wife, well said. Before he could praise him, Li Fan had already fainted. I fainted twice in a row at Mu Rongying's house. Sigh. I'm so unlucky. When Li Fan woke up again, he had already returned to his home. Mu Rongying showed mercy and let Li Fan sleep on the sofa in the living room. At least he didn't have to enjoy the electric floor and ropes. His 2 arms also regained feeling. That acupoint hitting hand was really scary. Are you awake? Mu Rongying was holding a bowl of ginseng soup, dressed in sexy pajamas, and walked in front of him. This time, it was cooked by Tai Zhu. Drink it while it's hot. Thank you. Li Fan drank a mouthful of the hot ginseng soup and felt strength surging from his dantian again. For martial artists like them, this thing was indeed a tonic. Li Fan, I've thought about it. Previously, I might have indeed not thought through it thoroughly. Mu Rongying actually admitted her mistake to Li Fan, causing Li Fan to almost spit out the ginseng soup. Impossible. Would this be something that Mu Rongying would say? Therefore, I've thought about it for an entire night and decided to adjust the plan that I've set. I'll double your training course. Fuck. Li Fan almost cursed it out loud. Could it be that she had thought about it for an entire night just to double the torture? Don't look at me like that. I'm doing this for your own good. Mu Rongying said, Jiang Feng is my father's beloved disciple. Not only did he learn my Mu Rongying family's secret art, he also had a fortuitous encounter with Daoist Zhuyang and learned the secret art record of the 9 heavens from him. This record of the 9 heavens is similar to the 9 manual in novels, right? Fuck. Li Fan was speechless. Isn't this guy a little too perverted? How am I supposed to continue? Isn't this guy equivalent to cheating? I might have been taking it too lightly previously. Morong-ing continued, after all, the 5 animal frolics is the foundation of the foundation. Now that you have the foundation, I've decided to teach you a set of true secret art. Morong-ing took out 3 secret manuals and placed them in front of Li Fan. Li Fan took a look. The 3 secret manuals were Morong's sword technique, fallen flower palm, and martial god technique. I don't want to learn it. I feel that the 5 animal frolics is quite good, Li Fan said stubbornly. Why do you look down on the 5 animal frolics? I feel that the 5 animal frolics still has a lot of room for improvement. What I've experienced now is merely the tip of the iceberg. It's good that you have this thought. However, if you want to defeat Jiang Feng in a year's time, just relying on the 5 animal frolics is far from enough. Where there's a will, there's a way. Li Fan wasn't willing to give up on the 5 animal frolics. He felt that this set of martial arts was just like him. It was ordinary, but it could brew great knowledge. Sooner or later, he would amaze the world with a brilliant feat. Even if you don't want to learn Morong's sword technique and fallen flower palm, you should at least learn the martial god technique, right? Morong-ing advised. This is an unparalleled inner force mantra that I won from the Martial Arts Circle Convention. You're only cultivating the 5 animal frolics in conjunction with the inner force, so your cultivation will be very slow. Don't worry. I'll make all of you look at me in a different light. Li Fan trusted the 5 animal frolics. I've already made up my mind. Don't try to persuade me. It's time for me to go to school. See you tonight, Alliance Leader Morong. Once Li Fan was stubborn, even 9 bulls couldn't pull him back. He changed into the school uniform that Tai Zhu had washed, put on his backpack, and left the house. Eldest miss, how about I go back and persuade the son-in-law again? Tai Zhu, who was wearing an apron that was about to burst, said, No need. Whatever my man wants to do, I should support him with all my strength. Morong-ing turned her head and saw that Tai Zhu was wearing nothing but an apron. Her pair of beautiful eyes widened. You, why aren't you wearing clothes? Ah, eldest miss, I read in a book that maids should dress like this. What a messy book. Quickly put on your pants. Then, can I not wear a shirt? No, put it all on. Okay. Li Fan didn't know that Tai Zhu had carefully prepared the maid mode for him. At this time, he was running to school while waving his arms. After fighting with him, Li Fan felt that his acupoint technique was indeed very powerful. Moreover, this acupoint technique seemed to match the crane's beak in his crane form. He should be able to knead them together. Li Fan ran to the school gate and unexpectedly met an acquaintance. Isn't that beautiful girl wearing a school uniform Lin Yuichisayan? Why is she not entering the school but lingering at the school gate? Li Fan was hesitating whether to greet her or not. Suddenly, he saw that there were several acquaintances in front of Lin Yuichisayan. Wang Chong was blocking the school gate. Behind him stood 2 sports student underlings. Lin Yuichisayan, it's your fortune that I like you. Wang Chong stopped Lin Yuichisayan and said, I know your family needs money. How about this? If you have a meal with me, I'll give you 1,000 yuan. Let me kiss you, and I'll give you 2,000. As for the price, we can discuss it in detail. How about it? Wang Chong, please show some respect. Lin Yuichisayan frowned and dodged Wang Chong's dishonest hand. If you do this again, I'll tell the teacher for you. Fine, go ahead. I want to see which teacher dares to control me. Chapter 23. Wang Chong was basically a tyrant in the school. Relying on his rich family, normal teachers were not willing to offend such a student. Sometimes, when the dean caught him smoking, he would at most advise him with a few words, but he did not dare to go too far. This made Wang Chong more and more arrogant. Today, he openly teased Lin Yuichisayan in front of the school gate. This was too much. Wang Chong, don't go too far. So what if I go too far? Wang Chong laughed. Your family is so poor. You really need my money, right? Lin Yuichisayan, why are you pretending to be a goddess? Tell me, how much money do you need to take off your pants? You bastard. Lin Yuichisayan slapped him, but Wang Chong grabbed her wrist. Haha, you want to resist me too? In this school, who dares to go against me? Just as Wang Chong finished speaking, he was kicked in the butt. The power of this kick was not light, and Wang Chong was immediately kicked to the ground. There was a saying that went, "You can't kick a tiger's butt." Wang Chong crawled up and was about to flare up, but when he saw Li Fan standing in front of him with his hands in his pockets, he immediately cowered. A good dog doesn't block the way. Li Fan glared at Wang Chong. Wang Chong quickly moved to the side and invited him with both hands. "Brother Fan, please come in. Don't give me that. Hurry up and disappear from my sight." Li Fan waved his hand, and Wang Chong quickly ran away with his 2 sport students. This guy, just because his family had some money, he wanted to go to heaven. Li Fan muttered in his heart. He really had to teach him a good lesson in the future. "This student, don't you think it's boring?" Lin Yusun suddenly said to Li Fan. What's boring?" Li Fan was a little puzzled. Why was this Lin sign crazy? "I look down on you hoodlums the most. Instead of studying, you only know how to mingle around in the underworld." Lin Yus angrily pointed at Li Fan and said, "Now you're using these despicable means to get close to me. What's the point?" "Hey, Lin Yuhsin, aren't you being too narcissistic?" Li Fan was amused. "Who approached you? You're still acting." Lin Yusin snorted coldly. "Your methods are too clumsy. I will never like a hooligan like you. Give up." "Damn, you've watched too many Korean dramas." Li Fan curled his lips. "What kind of person are you? I helped you twice because we were classmates, and you still dare to take it lying down. What's so great about being a flag raiser? You're so good at studying. Do you think you're so popular? Women prettier than you wanted to throw themselves at me, but I rejected them all. Do you understand? Speaking of which, Morong and Lin Yuhsin should be equally matched in terms of appearance. However, Lin Yuhsin's temper was really unlikable. How could she be so narcissistic? You still don't admit it." Lin Yuhsin was somewhat angry. She thought to herself, "Did I see through Li Fan's thoughts, and he became angry out of humiliation? I admit your sister. You can go wherever you want to go. Also, remember, my name is Li Fan, a student from Class 2. I'm not a hoodlum. Do you understand?" With that, Li Fan turned around and walked back to class, leaving Lin Yuhsin there. Lin Yuhsin was slightly stunned. I should be the one who is angry. Why is he the one who is angry? This kind of person is really unreasonable. No, I can't take this lying down. As Li Fan was walking back to class, he suddenly smelled a fragrant wind. He turned around and found that Lin Yuhsin was actually jogging behind him. "What the hell? What are you doing?" I must make it clear to you." Lin Yuhsin's body was obviously weak. After running for a few steps, she was out of breath. You stop first? Damn, you're too stubborn." This was the first time Li Fan met such a stubborn woman. Isn't she crazy? "No, we must make it clear." Lin Yuhsin stretched out her hand and pulled Li Fan's arm. Li Fan could only stand on the spot and look at this stubborn young lady. "What are you trying to say? Is there anything more to say between the two of us?" "Of course there is." Lin Yus took 2 deep breaths to calm her breathing. "I just want to tell you that no matter what method you use, I will never, ever like you. Don't waste your effort. This person, can't understand other people's words." Li Fan was also anxious. Is this girl's IQ used on studying? Can't she give me a little EQ? "Big sister, what do I have to do for you to believe that I don't like you?" "Impossible." Lin Yuan shook her head. "I'm so beautiful and good at studying. There are so many guys chasing after me. You say you don't like me. I don't believe it." "It's up to you whether you believe it or not." Li Fan was about to collapse. "Master doesn't expect you to believe it. Can you stop bothering me?" "This student, the way you speak is very interesting." Lin Yuan immediately said, "It's obviously you who has been bothering me. This has already happened twice. Who knows what method you will use next time? You've already affected my normal study life. Please don't disturb me anymore." Fine. I was wrong," Li Fan admitted. "I won't bother you anymore, okay? You see, you finally admit it." Lin Yuan proudly said, "You still dare to say that you're not interested in me?" "Yes, I'm interested in you." Li Fan immediately said, "Your face, your chest, your butt, they are all very tempting. I drool when I see you, and I get hard when I see you. I can't help but want to make a move on you." With that, Li Fan stretched out his two hands, as if he was going to grab Lin. Lin Yuhsin was scared to death. She turned around and ran away with her pair of long legs. Li Fan successfully scared Lin Yuhsin away. He secretly said in his heart, "Little girl, you think I can't handle you?" Wang Cheng hid in the dark, watching Li Fan teasing Lin Yuhsin. His heart was filled with hatred. He didn't let him tease her, but he was the first to enjoy it. "Motherfucker, when have I ever been bullied like this? Li Fan, this bastard. I must get rid of him. I definitely can't count on that brother Li Fan, this guy has some kung fu. I must find a more powerful person to deal with him." Wang Cheng took out his phone and secretly made a call. "Brother Lei, I heard that you know a guy who fights underground? Yes, help me find him. It doesn't matter if he's ruthless. I'll pay." After Li Fan scared Lin Yuhsin away, he thought that he could be at ease. Who would have thought that this comfort would only last for 2 classes? Just after school at noon, when Li Fan was about to go out for lunch, he heard a few female students whispering beside him. "I heard that Li Fan is now in the underworld?" "Yeah, even Lu Xiaoli, that kind of person, calls him brother. TSK. Does he think that this is very handsome? Too lame. This kind of person probably can't even find a girlfriend." That's right. Which girl dares to get close to him? I heard that he has hemorrhoids, and his but bleeds. It's so disgusting." Li Fan didn't want to hear it either, but his hearing was better than most people's. "A few old women. What nonsense are you talking about? You can't find a girlfriend. I even have a fiancé, but unfortunately, I can't say it." A few girls cast him a sympathetic and fearful look. But at this moment, Lin Yuchen's beautiful figure suddenly walked in from outside the door and grabbed Li Fan. "I have something to tell you." Chapter 24. This woman. She actually chased him all the way to the class. "What else do you want? Do you want me to molest you?" Li Fan looked like he was about to go berserk. "There are so many people here. What can you do?" Lin Yuhsin said, stuck out her chest, and said to Li Fan, "If you have the ability, come and grab me." The surrounding boys drooled with envy, while the girls were so surprised that they hit the wall. Li Fan, this kind of guy, actually has a campus belle like Lin to throw herself at him, and she even sent herself to his doorstep to let him touch her chest? Their cognition collapsed one by one. What's wrong with this world? Is it a mess? Can we not talk here? When Li Fan saw the surrounding gazes, he felt extremely unnatural. "Okay, let's go out and talk." Lin Yuhsin also noticed the surrounding eyes and felt somewhat embarrassed. The two of them walked out of the classroom and came to the old library on the 5th floor. This place has been cleaned once, and in order to prevent people from making trouble again, the door has been locked. But this was not a problem for Li Fan. He grabbed the lock, activated his bare form, gathered his true chi in his palm, and pinched the lock. Lin Yuhsin didn't see it clearly, but seeing Li Fan open the lock, she was somewhat surprised. "You really are a little punk. You usually steal things, don't you?" "What nonsense are you talking about? When did I steal things?" Li Fan rolled his eyes. The two of them entered the old library. After entering, Li Fan immediately pressed Lin Yuhsin against the wall, and then pretended to be fierce. "Lin Yuhsin, you little sheep. I didn't look for you, but you actually delivered yourself to my door, right? Tell me, do you like foreplay, or do you like to be rough?" Li Fan racked his brain, recalling the appearance of those hooligans in his memory. He deliberately licked his lips to increase his deterrence. "Student, don't worry. Can I ask you a question first?" Lin Yuhsin covered Li Fan's mouth with one hand. "What are you waiting for? I've already raised my club." Li Fan decided to play the role of a hooligan to the fullest. Lin Yuhsin seemed to be really scared, but she plucked up her courage and said, "Classmate, don't be rash. Can you listen to me first? What do you want to say?" Li Fan felt that this girl might have come out without taking her medicine. He was already in this state, so why didn't she run? "Student, to be honest, I actually want to be a psychiatrist in the future." As Lin Yuhsin spoke, she took out a pair of glasses from the pocket of her uniform and put it on the bridge of her nose. This girl, what was she playing at? At first, I was really afraid of you. But after I analyzed your condition, I felt that your nature should be good. It's just that you may have experienced some bad things that caused your heart to become abnormal. Damn, you're the abnormal one. Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What kind of play was this girl putting on? Don't be angry. Let me analyze it for you. Lin Yuhsin looked very serious. She pulled Li Fan's sleeve and said, I thought about it. If I don't care about you, how can I face countless patients in the future? So, if I don't go to hell, who will? I've decided to treat you personally. Damn, don't give me that. I'm not sick. It's clinically proven that all the patients said so. Lin Yuhsin pushed up her glasses. She really looked like a beautiful junior doctor and said, Don't worry. You're not mentally ill. It's just a psychological illness. I've learned a lot of materials by myself. You're my first experimental subject. I'll be responsible for you. Why would you be responsible for a mental patient? Bah, the young master wasn't mentally ill. Li Fan felt that beautiful women were a bit unreasonable. You go and study it yourself. I'm going back. If you walk out of here now, I'll immediately shout that you're molesting me. Lin Yuhsin's eyes flashed with some kind of stubborn light. Li Fan almost cried. What the heck? I'm actually being controlled by a girl? Lin Yuhsin. Don't go too far. I'm doing this for your own good. What? You don't dare to accept my treatment. Lin Yuhsin's words were obviously provocative. Li Fan's temper flared up. He slapped his thigh and said, Who's afraid of who? As long as you're not afraid that I'll eat you up. I'm confident that I can cure you. Lin Yuhsin raised 2 fingers as if she had already won. Li Fan said, I want to see what kind of trick this woman is going to play. This student, please take a seat. Lin Yuhsin let Li Fan sit on the chair beside her. Before I accept the treatment, I need to know your name. You don't even know who I am. And you want to treat me. Li Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This woman, where did she get this persistence from? I will treat every patient fairly. Lin Yuhsin adjusted her glasses. As long as you're cured, I won't appear in front of you anymore. Don't worry, I still have this bit of professional ethics. Okay. Then you treat me. My name is Li Fan. I've already told you in the morning. You actually don't remember. Li Fan crossed his arms. He thought to himself, I'm still fucking hungry. How can you abuse a patient like this? Bah, I'm not a patient. Li Fan. This name is a bit too common. I might not have noticed it. Is this what a doctor should say to a patient? Li Fan was angry. Aya, there's progress. You finally admit that you're a patient? This girl, he didn't realize that she has a sharp tongue. Okay, let's start the treatment. Lin Yuhsin took out a small notebook and made some notes. Li Fan glanced at it. It wrote, Patient 001. Fuck. Li Fan, from now on, you have to answer my questions accurately. Okay. Ask away. You have such a strong desire for women. Is it because your mother passed away when you were young? Get lost. Li Fan cursed. Your mother is the one who passed away. Why are you cursing me? You were the one who cursed me first, okay? Li Fan argued. But Lin Yuhsin said in a serious manner, But the medical book clearly says so. Where did this abnormal desire of yours come from? Every man is like this, okay? Li Fan was angry. If I'm not interested in women, then why should I be interested in men? Oh, that's another symptom. Lin Yuhsin said, I have to go back and check the medical book. Check your sister. I'm not sick at all. Li Fan was already impatient. I don't have time to play house with you. Friend, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat. Bye. Don't be so anxious. Lin Yuhsin suddenly said, In order to cure your disease, I've decided to try it. To be your girlfriend for a week. What? What did you say? Chapter 25. Is Lin Yuhsin crazy? She actually said that she wants to be his girlfriend? Wasn't she scared to death before? If I don't go to hell, who will go to hell? Lin Yuhsin's gaze is very firm, as if she is ready to die, making Li Fan want to curse. Fuck, who's hell? Lin Yuhsin. I'm not such a casual guy. Even if you want to be my girlfriend, I won't do it. Li Fan's temper flares up. This woman can't listen to other people's words at all. I know that you said those words of rejection because of your pride, Lin Yuichisign says confidently, but with such a beautiful girl like me as your girlfriend, your heart should be excited to the point of going crazy, right? Are you too embarrassed to show it? Li Fan rolls his eyes. You should also have a disease in your heart. It's time to see a doctor. My heart is very healthy. What I said is what a normal man should do. Lin Yuichisign looks at Li Fan from a close distance. Her pretty little face really makes Li Fan's heart move. This woman, she is confident, but she also has the capital to be confident. He has to admit that she is quite good-looking. Her facial features are exquisite, like God's exquisite jade carvings. Her entire temperament is a little like the girl next door, but her character is so stubborn, not gentle at all. Say, you're a good girl, of all things to learn. Why do you have to learn to be a psychologist? What's wrong with being a psychologist? Lin Yuisan looks straight at Li Fan's eyes. Please don't discriminate against my ideals. Moreover, I've sacrificed so much just to treat you. Why are you still making excuses? I just don't understand. Why are you willing to make such a big sacrifice? Li Fan is very puzzled. Aren't you afraid that in this week, I will use my boyfriend identity to do something to you? I will help you cultivate a healthy concept of love. Lin Yuan laughed. With my help, you will be reborn. Rebirth? What's the point? Li Fan pursed his lips. My current appearance is pretty good. Abandoning yourself to depravity. Lin Nus, on the other hand, was exasperated. Li Fan, haven't you ever thought that you could be better and more charming? Are you really satisfied with your current appearance? When I was looking for you, I saw that the girls in your class didn't have a good impression of you. Don't you want all of them to like you? To be honest, Li Fan was tempted. The other girls were fine, but he actually wanted Mo Rongying to see him in a different light. To be honest, he really didn't know how to get along with girls. After all, since young, he only played with boys, and his EQ wasn't that high. Lin Yuisan saw that Li Fan was somewhat tempted, so she struck while the iron was hot. Tell me, which girl do you like? When I treat you, I guarantee that you can chase after her. Really? This Lin Yuisan is a little boastful, isn't she? Is she really that capable? I promise with my character. Lin Yuisan touched her chest. But you also have to promise me that you will fully cooperate with my treatment. Sure. Who's afraid of who? Fine. Who do you want to chase? Except for me, I will never promise you. This girl, Li Fan rolled his eyes. Don't worry, I'm not interested in little girls. I want to chase after Mo Rongying. Chasing after his own fiancée is quite interesting. It's just that every time Li Fan saw Mo Rongying ignoring him, he was unhappy. He wanted to get Lin Yuisan to help him chase after Mo Rongying, and then dump her to make her sad. Humph humph. Mo Rongying? The new school board member? Lin Yuisan was surprised. You're quite ambitious. Of course. Li Fan muttered in his heart. Anyway, it's his own field. How he plowed it is his own business. It's very difficult, but it's not impossible. Lin Yuisan took 2 deep breaths. Fine. You're not that bad. You can still be adjusted. What do you mean by not that bad? How can someone be described like this? Li Fan felt uncomfortable. Then let's start from tonight. Lin looked at her watch. After the evening self-study session, let's meet here. Do we still need to meet here? Can't we just send a message? Li Fan couldn't help but ask. I don't have a cell phone. Lin Yuan's face slightly blushed. Anyway, let's meet here after school. What era is it? There's still no cell phone. Could it be like what Wang Chong said, that Lin Yuichisin's family is very poor? But in school, everyone is wearing their school uniform, so one can't tell if they're rich or not. After all, no one is like Wang Chong, not showing off his wealth. All right then, I'll agree to it. But only for a week. After a week, we're still ordinary classmates. I won't agree if you want to date more. Lin Yuichisin fiercely rolled her eyes at Li Fan. Not to mention, this girl is pretty. Even rolling her eyes is pretty. Why else would it be said that beauties have preferential treatment? No matter what they do, their looks will be greatly increased. Oh right, please keep this matter between us a secret. Before leaving, Lin Yuexian thought of something and reminded Li Fan, no matter what, I'm also a girl. If this spreads out, I'm afraid it will cause unnecessary misunderstandings. Don't worry, I will absolutely not tell anyone about this. Li Fan said. If this was known by his fiancée, Ying, wouldn't she hang him up and beat him? In order to save his life, he can't let others know. But aren't you afraid of delaying your studies? I didn't expect you to be so concerned about others. Lin Yuan laughed. It's not like there's no cure. Fuck. Good intentions are treated as ill intentions. Don't worry, I've already finished all the high school courses by myself. Lin Yuexian finally took out her top student's demeanor. Not to mention a week, even if I don't come to class for a month, I can still easily keep up. Fuck. These words are too infuriating. Li Fan didn't come to class for a few days, but it was already a bit strenuous for him to listen to the lecture. Really, comparing people to people is odious. Comparing goods to goods is odious. Right. Can you help me with my tuition? Li Fan felt that this was a good opportunity. Seeing that the monthly exam is coming, he could use this girl to tutor him for free, making the best use of her. My tuition is 50 yuan per class. Lin Yuexian happily stretched out her hand. How many classes do you want? Hey. You're too black-hearted. Li Fan was about to go berserk. You're still charging me? What's wrong with that? It's my labor income. Lin Yuexian seriously said. I usually give tuition to some classmates, but we are boyfriend and girlfriend. Li Fan's eyes rolled. If the division is so light, can it still be called dating? What you said is not without reason. Lin Yuexian nodded. If that's the case, I'll give you a 20% discount. Chapter 26. Although he is grumbling in his heart, Li Fan still meets up with Lin Yuexian after school. The two of them wait in the library for a while. When most of the students have left, they quietly push open the door of the old library. Why are you acting like a thief? Li Fan mutters a sentence. Is it really good to be so sneaky? After all, we cannot let others know. Lin Yuexian pushes her glasses. Even if it is me, the teacher will not condone puppy love. You hoodlums are different. You are thick-skinned. Even if you are scolded by the teacher, you will not care. Who cares? Li Fan curls his lips. Can you stop talking to yourself? Am I wrong? Aren't you guys always like this? The two of them sneak out. Lin Yuexian does not forget to mock Li Fan. At this moment, a voice comes from the side. Teacher Chen, you go first. I need to go to the toilet. The two of them immediately look at each other. This is the voice of the dean. If the dean finds out that they are together, then this matter will be hard to explain. The two of them turn their head and look. The only place they can hide is the male toilet. The location of the library is quite far away. Lin Yuexian is also panicking. She obviously does not want to be discovered. The dean, this perverted old man, has always been strict. If he finds out that the two of them stayed at school until so late, he will definitely not listen to an explanation and directly call their parents. Without any explanation, Li Fan carried Princess Lin Yuexian in his arms. Then, with a slide of his feet, he used his qinggong and instantly rushed into the men's room. What are you doing? Lin Yuexian exclaims in a low voice. Li Fan makes a shushing gesture and then carries her into a single room. In order to not let others see their feet under the room, Li Fan can only continue to carry Lin Yuexian. With a warm and fragrant body in his arms and such a beauty, it was basically impossible for him to not be distracted. However, if the head of teaching found out that there were still students here, he would definitely interrogate the students who stayed for so long. Hearing the dean's footsteps getting closer, Li Fan jumped up lightly. At the same time, he lifted his legs and supported himself on the walls on both sides of the room. Fortunately, Lin Yuexian's body was relatively light, or else she would have vomited blood. Lin Yuexian was also a little surprised. Li Fan was so agile. Had he learned any gymnastics? Although she was held in Li Fan's arms, she did not dare to make a sound, for fear of being discovered. In this small single room, accompanied by the smell of disinfectant, there was the light breathing of the two people. The fragrance on Lin Yuexian's body was very pleasing to Li Fan. Was the gap between men and women really that big? Why did a girl's body smell so good? Li Fan even smelled it twice, causing Lin Yuexian to roll her eyes. Lin Yuexian's little face was red. This guy, he wouldn't take the opportunity to do something to me, right? Li Fan did not think of anything at first, but Lin Yuexian's body was also soft. Although it was separated by the school uniform, he could still feel that kind of softness. She was indeed a top-grade beauty. Every part of her body was a perfect work of art. There was really not a single flaw to pick out. Lin Yuexian seemed to also notice this awkwardness. She blushed and struggled with all her might. Not only did she not break free, but she also rubbed her leg against Li Fan's arm a few times. Li Fan felt some special softness. Both of them were startled at the same time. Lin Yuexian's face turned even redder. This was her first time having such intimate contact with a boy. This had already exceeded the bottom line of her heart. This was definitely not allowed. Lin Yuexian swayed again, and Li Fan hugged her tightly. Because he was still wearing that pair of iron shoes, it added a lot of pressure to him. Judging from the footsteps, the dean had already walked in. Li Fan leaned close to Lin Yuexian's ear and said in a low voice, "Don't move. He's coming in." Lin Yuexian's eyes were a little red, and she looked at Li Fan with an aggrieved expression. He left after peeing, very quickly. Bear with it. Li Fan also knew that Lin Yuexian must be very uncomfortable, but for the sake of their reputation, he could only bear with it. Hearing the word pee, Lin Yuexian was already very embarrassed. She could only turn her head away and close her eyes, like an ostrich pretending not to see everything. However, the two of them did not expect the dean to actually go to university. The two of them heard the sound of him taking off his pants, followed by a loud fart. Fuck, did he need to take a dump at such a critical moment? This stomach really did not know how to pick the right time. Lin Yuexian also became nervous. How long would this big one take? Wearing a pair of iron shoes for such a long time, Li Fan's legs were also a little sore. He hurriedly circulated the true qi in his body to strengthen his legs, so that he would not fall from this single room. The dean was after all a character, and he was still calm even when taking a dump. When Li Fan heard the dean's voice on the phone, he squatted down and chatted with an unknown ghost. "Xiaozhong, let me tell you, I didn't listen to you when you asked me to sell that stock last time, and as a result, I got trapped. Now I want to buy more stocks, but my wife won't give me money. I can only count on this year's bonus. Aya, it's hard to manage the students recently. I heard that there's a little hooligan in school called Li Fan, a thorn. Yes, I have to find a chance to teach him a lesson, so that he will be more obedient." Li Fan and Lin Yuexian looked at each other. Lin Yuexian's eyes clearly said, "See, I didn't say anything wrong." As for Li Fan, he felt wronged. When did he become a hooligan? He was very obedient, okay? It's hard to manage this group of students these days. All of them are thorns, let me tell you. This dean's phone call was endless, and Li Fan's forehead began to sweat. Li Fan was still desperately cursing. "It's fine if you take a dump, but your fart is so smelly." A martial artist's breathing was not for nothing. It required a lot of oxygen. Li Fan now had a thick smell of feces when he breathed. He was about to collapse. "You can't play like this. Isn't this a biochemical bomb? If this goes on, I will really fall down." Li Fan had no other way. With a sudden inspiration, he buried his head in Lin Yuexian's chest. Instantly, the fragrance assailed his nostrils. Li Fan greedily inhaled. "It's really not bad. This is the smell of youth." Lin Yuexian was about to collapse. Li Fan was too much. How can he treat me like this? This big bastard. I want to kill him. But what she could do now was to endure. Once she made a sound, all her previous efforts would be wasted. Besides, she found the two of them in the men's toilet. This matter could not be cleared even if she jumped into the Yellow River. No matter what, she had to endure it. "Lin Yuexian, you can do it? But it's so smelly. Help." Chapter 27. Feeling the softness of Lin Yuexian's chest, Li Fan's mind seemed to have two little people. They were both miniature versions of Li Fan, but one had a small white wing and the other had a small black tail. The black-tailed Li Fan shouted, "Li Fan, what are you waiting for? Your chance is here. Settle this, girl. The white-winged Li Fan said solemnly. It's right. Fuck. Can't you be more persistent? Why did you submit so quickly? Where's your integrity? Your integrity. Li Fan scolded himself for not having integrity. How could he be like this? If this went on, how could he be a responsible youth in the new society? How could he build the great motherland and take over the great cause of socialism in the future? Li Fan took 2 deep breaths to calm himself down. However, at this moment, the dean of students finally made a move. My legs are numb from squatting. I'm tired. Let's call a cab home. Hearing the sound of toilet paper, the 2 of them heaved a sigh of relief. It was finally over. They didn't expect the dean to be so mature, even though he was so old. Cautiously waiting for the dean to come out of the toilet, Li Fan then loosened his grip and landed. His legs and arms were extremely sore. If it wasn't for the latrine pit under him, he really wanted to sit down. Lin Yuhsin was placed on the ground. She looked at Li Fan angrily and reached out a hand. Raising and lowering it a few times, she didn't know if she should slap Li Fan. She didn't know if she should slap him or not. She was in a dilemma. In the end, Lin Yuhsin was so angry that she cried. She squatted on the ground, hugging her head and crying nonstop. My missy, if you want to cry, let's go outside and cry. This place smells too bad. Li Fan was already a little weak. Every breath he took there was a slow sense of guilt. But Lin Yuhsin ignored him and just squatted there crying. My young miss, don't cry. Okay? Li Fan was most afraid of girls crying. Most importantly, when Lin Yuhsin cried, there was no movement at all. It was too strange. Especially crying in the men's room. How scary. Don't cry. I was wrong. Okay? Li Fan poked Lin Yuhsin lightly with his finger. It was still soft. What was this girl's body made of? What a strange creature. Otherwise, why would he say that he admired Morong Ying? Although she was also a girl, she had never cried before. Men shed blood but not tears. This saying was also true for Morong Ying. Don't cry. I'll treat you to a meal. Okay? Lin Yuhsin was still crying. I'll call you Grandaunt. Okay? Lin Yuhsin still refused to look up. Fuck. Then what do you want to do? Believe it or not, I'll also shit in front of you. Li Fan was furious and reached out to untie his belt. Lin Yuhsin finally raised her head and hurriedly reached out to grab Li Fan's arm. Her eyes were filled with panic like a frightened deer, which really made Li Fan's heart ache. All right, don't be afraid. I'm not as shameless as the dean. Li Fan stood up and pulled Lin up. Didn't I have no choice just now? I didn't do it on purpose. Don't be angry, okay? As long as you don't get angry, I can promise you anything. Really? When Lin Yuhsin heard Li Fan's promise, she wiped her tears. Needless to say, the corner of her eyes were really red and a little swollen. It was a little like Lin Dayu, and it really made one's heart ache. What she had done might have been a little too much, but it was really a helpless action in a moment of desperation. Yes, I swear to God, if I say half a lie, let me never find a girlfriend for the rest of my life. This oath is indeed quite harsh. Lin Yuhsin seriously considered for a while, but without my help, you can't find a girlfriend in the first place. That's too much. Li Fan did not know whether to laugh or cry. Am I that unbearable? Of course. You even acted like a hooligan in front of me earlier. Yes, yes, yes. I've committed a heinous crime. Please punish me. Li Fan cupped his hands. If you want to kill me or hit me, I will not retaliate. Unexpectedly, Lin Yuhsin laughed through her tears. Go to hell. Who wants to kill you or hit you? This is not the evil old society. She fiercely rolled her eyes at Li Fan. It's good that you know you're wrong. Don't do this again. Seeing that you've protected me earlier, I'll let you off this time. Thank you, organization. Thank you, party, Li Fan loudly said. Thank you, China Red Sun. Don't give me that nonsense. Lin Yuhsin gently pushed open the door and looked outside. There shouldn't be anyone left. Let's go. The 2 of them tiptoed out of the school building. The sky was already dark. There was almost no one around. This was the first time the 2 of them left the school so late. When they left the school building, Li Fan finally could not help but ask. Say, I really can't find a girlfriend? Li Fan felt that although he was not that handsome, his image was not bad. He was just an ordinary person. You're too far off. Lin Yusun adjusted her glasses. First of all, your image is too low. What's wrong with my image? Isn't it the same for normal people? This is not the same. The most important thing for a person is their spirit. Lin Yuhsin emphasized. Which girl would like such a sloppy guy like you? Look at the way you dress. It's too horrible to look at. It's not even damp. Don't we all wear school uniforms? Li Fan said. Look, I even drew a Mickey Mouse on my clothes. How is it not damp? Oh my God! Lin Yusun was about to collapse. Forget about school uniform. What Mickey Mouse? Let's not talk about school uniform. Let's talk about your hairstyle. How many days have you not washed your hair? Do boys also need to wash their hair? It's not like they're girls. It's the same, okay? Don't men take care of their personal hygiene? What kind of logic is that? Lin pointed at Li Fan's messy hair. First, cut your hair short. At least you look more spirited if you cut it short. Also, your shoes are too tasteless. Can you change to a new pair? If it's school uniform, you can match it with a pair of canvas shoes. Together with your crew cut, it's quite a campus style. It's not bad. Li Fan was distressed. I can cut my hair, but I can't change my shoes. Don't tell me you only have a pair of shoes? No, these are my training shoes. Li Fan pointed at his pair of iron shoes and said, made of pure iron. A pair weighs 10 kilograms. You really know how to talk nonsense. Lin Yuhsin felt that Li Fan's words were not reliable at all. Why don't you say you know the 18 dragon subduing palms? Then Li Fan was about to reply when he suddenly felt a gust of cold wind. He subconsciously turned his head to look at the grove next to the school. What are you looking at? There seems to be someone there. Li Fan gently frowned. Lin Yusun looked at the dark grove and subconsciously shivered. Annoying. You're just scaring people. No, there seems to be someone there. I don't believe you. Let's go. Accompany me to get my bike. Chapter 28. Lin Yuhsin was a little scared by Li Fan. After all, she was a girl, and it was a dark campus. There would always be some bad images appearing in her mind. It was quite scary. All right, I must have seen wrongly. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders and followed Lin Yuhsin to the bike shed to get the bicycle. I remember you take the bus to and from school? You mean that day? Lin Yuhsin recalled the first time they met. My bicycle broke at that time. Now that I think about it, did you break it for me and then acted out this scene with that hooligan? Why are you still suspecting me? Li Fan was about to cry. Am I that kind of image in your heart? It doesn't matter. You are my patient now. No matter how sick you are, I can accept it. Lin Yuhsin looked calm, which made Li Fan want to break down. What is this? I am your boyfriend now. Can't you believe me a little? The two of us are only boyfriend and girlfriend in name. This is a discussion between a doctor and a patient. Lin Yuhsin emphasized. You are not allowed to think too much. Yes. It's my fault. I promise I won't think too much. Li Fan cupped his hands. You are the Communist Party of the new society, and I am the stinking hooligan of the old society. You have a high consciousness, and my thoughts are depraved. I should be expelled along with the evil old society. Again, Lin Yuhsin rolled her eyes. Will you die if you don't talk nonsense? To be a charming man, you should have depth and inner qualities. Girls will not like you if you talk nonsense all the time. You must speak with standards. I am just a student. How can I speak with standards? Li Fan was amused. Comrade Shaolin, are you trying to start a revolution? Are you trying to lead me to a victorious tomorrow? Go to hell. What I'm telling you is useful. You should listen and learn. Lin Yuhsin's fingers gently twisted Li Fan's waist. Am I the one who understands women? Or are you the one who understands women? Li Fan said bitterly, sigh. I should have told you earlier that I'm also a woman. Sister, why must women make things difficult for other women? Scram! Lin Yuhsin was also about to collapse from anger because of Li Fan. This fellow was too improper. Would he be able to cure his illness in a week? No, Lin Yuhsin. You can't admit defeat. You're determined to be a psychiatrist. There were 81 difficulties in seeking the scriptures, and this was only the first. Your bicycle is quite classy. Walking to the shed, there was only one bicycle left. Li Fan took a look. Awesome. It was an army green bike that had a lot of paint peeling off. However, there were some girls' stickers on the body of the bike, making it look a bit cute. This is an antique bike. I can't believe that Comrade Little Lin has such an elegant hobby. Li Fan couldn't help but tease. It's none of your business. Quickly send me home. Lin Yuhsin's face was slightly red. She looked a bit embarrassed. Li Fan guessed her thoughts. Although this girl's family was poor, she still wanted to save face. Thus, he didn't pester her about this matter anymore. However, although the bike was broken, Lin Yuhsin still locked the bike on the railing. This kind of antique bike, there shouldn't be any thief interested in it. The money from selling, it was not even enough to cover the effort needed to open the lock. Li Fan was about to unlock the bike when he heard footsteps. Who's there? He immediately turned his head and shouted. This time, even Lin Yuhsin heard the footsteps. Her pretty face immediately turned pale and subconsciously hid behind Li Fan. Brat, we've been waiting for you for a long time. Why are you dawdling in school? A man with a horse face walked over. He was about 20 years old with dyed blonde hair and looked like a slut. Hurry up and come over. Our brother Nan has something to say to you. Next to him was a man wearing a black long-sleeved shirt and black jeans. His face was cold as if he just came out from a refrigerator. This person was probably the brother Nan that the blonde horse-faced man mentioned. He looked like he didn't come with good intentions. Who is brother Nan? I don't know him. I'm not going over. Li Fan could see that these people didn't come with good intentions. He refused the blonde's invitation. Fuck, brother Nan invited you, and you dare not come? You're crazy. The blonde was a little surprised. My brother Lei has been the king of this generation for so long. I've never seen someone as arrogant as you. He grinned. Several high school hooligans surrounded him. Each of them had a baseball bat in their hand. Obviously, they were the younger brothers of this blonde. One of the younger brothers, De Zhuang, carried the baseball bat in his hand and shouted with confidence. Brother Lei, don't worry. I'll help you settle this brat today. Settle what? Go to the side. Don't you know Brother Lei's rules? The yellow-haired man called Brother Lei pulled his younger brother to the side, then stretched out his hand to calculate a few times. He pretended that his eyes were still rolling. Li Fan was worried that his eyeballs would fly out just like that. Heaven's spirit, Earth's spirit, Taishang Lao Jun, quickly show yourself. His mouth was muttering something. No one knew what he was saying. Brother Nan, who was next to him, crossed his arms and curled his lips. He seemed to be very disdainful. Li Fan didn't care about this clown. He was more concerned about the silent brother Lei. He subconsciously felt a dangerous aura from the other party's body. It was like the feeling of a prey being targeted by a hunter. This brother Nan was definitely not a good person. Aya, this great immortal's divination is not going to be good today, the blonde muttered for a long time. In the end, his eyes rolled back and tears flowed down. He wiped the corner of his eyes and said, How about? Brothers take a break today? Scram. Brother Nan finally lost his patience and scolded. The blonde seemed to be a little embarrassed. However, this brother Nan was a ruthless person that he invited. Whether or not he could earn young Master Wang's money depended on him. Fuck, how can you talk to our brother Lei like that? De Zhuang was unhappy. He pointed the baseball bat at brother Nan. Our brother Lei can calculate. His nickname is Huang Banxian. Who do you think you are? Do you really think I'm serious when I call you brother? Believe it or not, I'll break your legs. De Zhuang, how can you talk to brother Nan like that? The blonde was shocked. He quickly went up and slapped De Zhuang. Then, he turned to brother Nan and smiled apologetically. Brother Nan, I'm sorry. My younger brother is young. He doesn't know how to talk. Break one of his legs and I'll pretend this never happened, brother Nan said lightly. Li Fan was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is there an internal conflict? Comrade Shaolin, do you want some popcorn? Want? What popcorn? Let's go. Lin Yuhsin was very afraid. She pulled the corner of Li Fan's clothes and begged. Chapter 29. Brother Nan, you're a magnanimous adult. Don't lower yourself to a child's level. Blondie smiled apologetically. Look, you should forgive him this time. You think you have the right to bargain with me? Brother Nan spat disdainfully. Eat this spit, and I'll let him go. Motherfucker. De Zhuang held the baseball bat and fiercely smashed it at Brother Nan's head. It can be seen that this De Zhuang seems to have a lot of strength. He swung the baseball bat vigorously. If it was an ordinary person, just by looking at De Zhuang's momentum, they would be stunned and then get hit by the bat. But in Li Fan's eyes, De Zhuang's move is full of flaws. He has 100 ways to deal with this move. At the same time, he can counterattack and subdue De Zhuang in one move. At that moment, Li Fan's mind was locked on this scene. It was as if there were more than 100 Li Fans around De Zhuang, using different methods and different moves to deal with De Zhuang. It seems like my 1 month of hard work is really useful. However, the method that Brother Nan chose was beyond Li Fan's expectations. He fought fast and directly ignored De Zhuang's baseball bat. He raised his leg and kicked De Zhuang's calf. Gotcha! That was the sound of his calf bone breaking. De Zhuang screamed in pain and fell to the ground while holding his calf. De Zhuang. The yellow hair quickly rushed up to check De Zhuang's injury. The other brothers around him all took 2 steps back and looked at Brother Nan with fear in their eyes. After all, these brothers are still students. Most of them are not good at their studies. They are envious of those hooligans in movies and TV series, so they came out to join the underworld. Usually, they can scare people, but now that they have met a real tough guy, they began to regret it. Brother Nan, what do you mean by this? Aren't you not giving me, Huang Lei, face? Who do you think you are? Why should I give you face? Brother Nan arrogantly said to Huang Lei, if you didn't say that you have a big deal to introduce to me, would I come with you? Why don't you think about your own weight? Do you really think you're a big shot just because a few idiots call you brother? Huang Mao was trembling all over, while Lin Yuan tugged at Li Fan. Let's go. All right, I won't look anymore. Let's go. Li Fan could feel that Lin Yuan was also trembling. The little girl was timid, so he didn't want her to see this. Li Fan was about to pull Lin Yuan away, but Nan Gu raised his foot and pressed it against the railing of the shed, blocking their way. Who said you could leave? Lin Yuan was even more afraid. Li Fan stood in front of her and asked with a frown, What? Are you going to rob us? You two poor students, I really look down on your mediocre lives. Nan Gu pointed at Li Fan. Someone offered 30,000 to buy one of your legs. Tell me, which one do you want to keep? Lin Yuan shuddered. She thought that Li Fan was really a gangster. He must have offended some enemy, and they came looking for him. Is it really okay for me to treat him? No. No matter what, I can't give up on my patient. If I give up on such a small difficulty, how can I be a qualified psychiatrist in the future? Lin Yuan, come on. Don't give up. You can do it. You're breaking the law. We'll call the police. Lin Yuan mustered up her courage, but her voice was still as small as a mosquito. Ha ha ha, you're not bad. Nan Ji's eyes fell on Lin Yuan. His eyes were like a hungry wolf, fiercely looking up and down. He licked his lips gently. Little girl, it's boring to follow a cripple in the future. Why don't you accompany me for a drink? Lin Yuan hid behind Li Fan again. She panicked under that man's gaze. Big brother, my female classmate is a bit shy and can't hold her liquor. Why don't I accompany you for a drink? I'm good. I promise I'll accompany you to drink. Li Fan immediately continued the topic and replied with a smile. Fuck you. I don't need you to accompany me. Nan Gu stared at him. Give me your leg first. In his eyes, an ordinary high school student like Li Fan was like a money tree. Nan Gu went to Shaolin Temple to learn martial arts for 2 years in his early years. When he came back, he had nothing to do. He was fierce and brave. In the end, he was spotted by a big brother and was sent to fight in an underground boxing ring. Therefore, Nan Gu was ruthless and merciless. With a whirlwind kick, his right foot went straight for Li Fan's face. This kick carried the sound of breaking through the air. If it landed on Li Fan's face would probably be disfigured. Lin Yuan was so scared that she screamed and squatted on the ground. However, countless scenes flashed in Li Fan's mind. As a martial artist, he could see through his opponent's strength. At the same time, he could judge countless ways to deal with him. To deal with this kind of guy, even the 5-animal frolics was not needed. Li Fan stretched out his hands and grabbed Nanji's ankle. Then, he dragged it in front of him. Pa! Nangu directly stepped forward, and his whole body did a split kick on the ground. Fortunately, he was a martial artist. Otherwise, his leg would have been fractured. Fuck! Brother Nan cried out in surprise. He used both of his legs to forcefully pull himself up again. You're also a martial artist? More authentic than you. Li Fan hooked his finger at Nangu. Looks like I have to ask for a new price. Nangu did not take Li Fan seriously. He was just a high school student. At most, he only knew some martial arts. However, the price had to be raised. Anyway, the other party was a rich second-generation heir. Basically, he was his money pot. This is not easy, brother. I'm afraid you won't be able to earn this money. As Li Fan said that, he suddenly felt an itch to use his skills. He had not used the acupuncture point technique that he learned from Jiang Feng. Today, during class, he had been secretly looking at the acupuncture point map. It was a good opportunity to use it. Just you? You have no martial arts skills. Lie down. Nangu was a martial arts champion when he was young. He did not take Li Fan seriously at all. Golden chop. Brother Nan's right leg was raised high above his head. This move, chop gua kick, was his secret art. Its power was enough to break 5 bricks. On the other hand, the chop kick was to launch a vertical attack with his leg from top to bottom. Brother Nan had practiced this move to the point of perfection. Li Fan did not care. Although Nanji's attack was swift and powerful, it was still external martial arts. Without the support of internal Qi Jin, it might be powerful against ordinary people. But for an internal expert like Li Fan who had Qi Jin for 11 years, it was useless. However, Li Fan did not want to expose his internal force. Morongying had reminded him not to reveal his internal force in front of ordinary people. Therefore, Li Fan pulled Lin Yuhsin and stepped aside. Dang! Lin Yuhsin's bicycle was in trouble. Most of it was bent by this kick. Chapter 30. My bike. Lin Yuhsin was about to cry. She had just repaired the bike, but she was afraid that she would never be able to use it again. What should she do? Her house was quite far from the school, and it would cost a lot of money to take the bus every day. Lin Yuhsin couldn't help but squat on the ground and cry again. Li Fan had a headache. Look at you. You even damaged her bike. Li Fan pointed at Brother Nan and angrily accused, Why don't you have any sympathy? You didn't even let go of a little girl's bike. You're heartless. Brother Nan's back was covered in cold sweat. He thought to himself, You're the one who dodged it. Stop talking nonsense. This kind of trash should have been thrown away a long time ago. He was too lazy to be long-winded. He turned around and gave another heavy kick, heading straight for Li Fan. Li Fan could also see that Brother Nan's kung fu was all in his lower body. As the saying goes, the hands are 2 doors, and he only relied on his legs to kick people. This guy's kung fu was indeed quite good. It was worth learning from him. However, it was better to test his acupoint first. Li Fan's acupoint was different from Jiang Feng's. He combined the crane's beak from the 5 animals' frolics. At this time, Li Fan's right hand was pinched together like a crane's beak toward Brother Nan's ankle. He aimed at an acupoint on Brother Nan's ankle, and like a crane's beak, he suddenly hit it. White crane gnawed. Li Fan shouted out the name of the move, and at the same time, his 5 fingers hit the acupoint on Brother Nan's ankle. Even through his pants, the chi from above still hit the acupoint. Brother Nan felt as if his ankle had been hit by a small hammer. The pain that seeped into his bones caused him to scream in pain. He retracted his right foot and landed on the ground, but his foot was numb as if it was electrocuted. He couldn't feel anything and immediately kneeled on the ground. Li Fan had cut off the blood vessels on his right foot. Brother Nan's foot wouldn't be able to recover in a short time. This is the acupoint? Although Nangu did not understand internal martial arts, he still had some understanding of it. He mistook Li Fan's martial arts for the acupoint sealing technique. Do you want another 2 moves? Li Fan said to Brother Nan with a smile. You win. I am a member of the Red Dragon Society. The green mountains will not change, and the green water will flow forever. We'll see. Brother Nan said those harsh words and limped away. Motherfucker, consider yourself lucky that you're fast. Otherwise, Brother Lei will beat you to death. Huang Mao shouted a few times in the direction that Brother Nan left. Li Fan broke out in a cold sweat. This guy was a hindsight. Motherfucker, I told you there would be a bloody disaster today, he said angrily. Comrade Shaolin, don't cry. Let's go back. Li Fan couldn't be bothered with the hooligan. He pulled Lin Yuhsin and was about to leave when a few high school students beside them started to move. The blonde immediately glared at them. What are you all doing? Didn't I say it's not a good night to fight? Hurry up and take Dezhuang to see a doctor. As the yellow hair spoke, he bowed and nodded at Li Fan. I'm really sorry for delaying your matter. I hope that you won't fall tonight. Get lost. A dog's mouth can't spit out ivory. Li Fan pretended to kick him, but the blonde quickly ran away with his group of brothers. They're all gone. Comrade Shaolin, you can stand up now. Li Fan pulled Lin Yuhsin again, but Lin Yuhsin pushed him away. Damn, is this girl angry again? How could there be so much chi to be angry on this day? It's like a chicken laying eggs, a whole nest at once. My big Miss Lin, why are you angry again? If you're this angry every day, you'll grow old very quickly. Don't worry about me. Lin Yuan wiped her tears and sobbed. I've already made up my mind. But why, being by your side? I'm so unlucky. How can you say that? I'm not a jinx. Why aren't you unlucky? Lin Yuxian seemed to be talking about the crimes of an old-fashioned landlord. Just because I decided to help you, I was blocked in the toilet, and then I was taken advantage of. Then I met these gangsters, and my car broke down. Sob, sob, sob. Why am I so unlucky? Woman. Li Fan's head swelled. Isn't it just a car? I'll compensate you with one. Who wants you to compensate? I hate you. Don't say that. No matter what, it's because of me. I happen to have a Kunlun car that I can't use now. Although it's an old car, it's much better than your antique car. I don't want your things. Just take it as me apologizing. Li Fan rolled his eyes. Besides, aren't we in a temporary relationship now? So, isn't what's mine yours? After softening his words, Li Fan began to provoke her again. Comrade Lin, are you going to give up just like that? Where are your great ideals and lofty wishes? Psychiatrist, are you just saying that? Nonsense. Lin Yus immediately stared at Li Fan and said loudly, This is my long-cherished wish. No difficulty can knock me down. She's even throwing a tantrum, but she shouldn't be crying anymore. Li Fan breathed a sigh of relief, then said, Great psychologist, are you willing to go home with me? Who wants to go home with you? I want to go home. Lin stood up and was about to leave. But just as she took a step, her legs went soft and she almost fell to the ground. Fortunately, Li Fan caught her. Girl, are you so scared that your legs went soft? I hate you. Lin Yuhsin hated herself for not living up to expectations. She was actually scared to the point that her legs went soft. Okay, don't be unhappy. I'll send you home. I don't want to. Lin Yuhsin was still stubborn. Why are you talking so much nonsense? Do you believe that I won't eat you? Li Fan made a fierce face, scaring Lin. Hurry up. But Li Fan squatted on the ground with his back facing Lin. I don't have the patience to wait for someone. Are you threatening me? Don't talk nonsense. Come up. Li Fan's tone was not friendly. Lin Yuan curled her lips. Come up then. Who's afraid of you? Only then did she obediently lay on Li Fan's back. This lass's figure was not bad. Although her chest development was not as good as Morong Ying's, it was still a small scale. This lass's future was limitless. But there was one thing that was not good. This lass was amenable to force but not coaxing. It really made one helpless. Where's your home? Li Fan looked around and asked. It's the bus stop, where you tried to seduce me. Lin Yuhsin slightly blushed as she said. Damn, this lass seems to be prejudiced by first impressions. Li Fan had no choice but to sigh. Fine, I admit it. I'll bring you home. Comrade Lin, you must behave yourself. You're not allowed to take advantage of this opportunity to grope me. Go to hell. Who would grope you? Hurry up and leave. Yes, yes, yes. Hold on tight. As Li Fan said that, he suddenly stomped on the ground and leaped 3 meters away, scaring Lin Yuan so much that she exclaimed and subconsciously hugged Li Fan tightly. Almost her entire chest was pressed against his back. Li Fan's nose was a little hot. Could this be the legendary chest pressed against the back? Chapter 31. Li Fan runs like a rabbit, causing Lin Yuan to exclaim in surprise. But after running for 2 kilometers, she got used to it. This Li Fan's physical fitness is really good. It's a pity that he doesn't become a sports talent student. You said that your athletic talent is quite good. Why don't you become a sports talent student? Why do you want to be a hoodlum? Because I want to be a big brother. Li Fan is too lazy to explain to Lin Yuan. This little girl is already prejudiced. She simply won't listen to his words. So he simply goes with the flow and continues to say, I want the entire second high school to be dyed with blood. I want all the teachers and students to kneel under my feet. You, psychopath. This is called realm. Dr. Lin. Li Fan chuckles. People who live must have this kind of ambition. Ambition, your sister. What kind of ambition is this? Lin Yuan rolls her eyes. She suddenly feels that she really has a long way to go. If she wants to cure his mental illness, it will take a lot of effort. Li Fan gathers his true qi in his dantian and then circulates it to his legs. Lin Yuan's body is very light. As if she is weightless, he doesn't feel anything carrying her on his back. Of course, the front of her chest is sticking to his back. This kind of benefit is not something that he can have at any time. The most important thing is that Lin Yuan's pair of long legs, when he hugs them with both hands, he can still stretch them out. It is really tempting to commit a crime. My future wife can also have such a pair of long legs. That would be good. Speaking of which, Murong Ying's pair of long legs is not short, but compared to Lin Yuan, it is still inferior. God is indeed fair. Although Lin Yuan's legs are long, Murong Ying's breasts are 7 feet big. But they are the same sister, the same bloodline. Why is there such a big difference between Murong's love? Could it be that the people of Murong's family all developed late? Lin Yuan's house wasn't very far from Li Fan's. They were only 2 blocks apart in the old city. However, Lin Yuan lived in a rather old shanty town. The old red brick building stood in front of Li Fan, and it gave off a sense of dilapidation. This kind of tube-shaped apartment was at least 20 to 30 years old, maybe even older. It could even be said that it was a dangerous house, even more dangerous than Li Fan's house. Why are you living here? Isn't it dangerous? Although he was afraid of hurting Lin Yuan's pride, Li Fan couldn't help but ask. They kept saying that they wanted to demolish the house, but the compensation given was too little. Lin Yuan couldn't help feeling a little sad. That's why no one wants to move. How much do you pay for 1 square meter? 1,000 per square meter? That's too much. The area of the rooms in this kind of tube-shaped apartment was very small, and it was good enough for a room to be 20 square meters. In this way, the maximum compensation a family could get was 30,000, and the average price of a house in City A was about 10,000. They couldn't even afford a toilet. And I heard that our land has been auctioned. I'm really worried that one day when I come back, my house will be demolished. Lin Yuan's eyes were a little worried. Li Fan quickly said, What kind of society is this? They won't dare to demolish our house. Don't worry, Dr. Lin. We have the People's Police to protect us. You can live in peace. Well, come and pick me up at 6:00 tomorrow morning. Lin Yuan was a little embarrassed. Remember to bring the bike? Thank you. Don't mention it. I'm your boyfriend. Seeing Lin Yuan's eyes, Li Fan quickly changed his words. Temporary boyfriend? Well, that's more like it. Lin Yuan nodded satisfactorily. Then I'm going home. Just drop me off here. It'll be terrible if my mom sees me at the door. Li Fan said that Lin Yuan cherished her feathers very much. It's okay for other people, but if my mom knows that I'm dating a gangster, she'll be disappointed in me. Oh, this girl is really hard to deal with. Li Fan rolled his eyes and turned to leave. Well, Lin Yuan suddenly stopped him again. What now? Li Fan asked impatiently. Well, I'll think about it. About the supplementary lessons, Lin Uhsin muttered. Her voice was as low as a mosquito's, and then she shook her bag, swaying her ponytail, and ran away like a deer. Well, this girl has some good points. Li Fan smacked his lips and thought, at least her legs are long. But it's already so late. I won't be punished if I go home, right? Probably not. I'm Morong Ying's husband. How could she bear to punish me? Hee hee. 10 minutes later, Li Fan did a push-up with both hands, lying on 2 plum blossom poles. Below Li Fan's face, there's a small incense burner with 3 big incense sticks, burning bright red. The smoke stung Li Fan's eyes. If he were to fall head first, he's afraid that 3 holes would be burned out. The most important thing is that on Li Fan's body sat Miss Taiju. This Miss Taiju is leisurely knitting a sweater. Son-in-law, do you prefer a round neck sweater or a chicken heart neck sweater? Taiju asked. Li Fan was about to collapse. Anything. Is this the time to consider what sweater to knit? This is a scam. Wife. That's enough. Li Fan's voice sounded like he was about to collapse at any time. Today, Morong Ying was wearing a blue porcelain qipao. She sat at the side with her left leg on top of her right. She was holding a copy of Inner Canon of the Yellow Arch in her hands, reading it with great interest. In the soft light, her side profile was so perfect. At that moment, Li Fan seemed to forget his fatigue. Femme fatale. Definitely femme fatale. Li Fan felt like he was about to die. His willpower is too weak. Is this the legendary pink skeleton? So scary. Li Fan, you're still young. You must not indulge in such gentleness. What's a woman? A man's ambition is everywhere. But this qipao's slit is so low. What era is it? Still wearing such a conservative qipao. What color is Morong Ying wearing tonight? As a new generation of youth, I must have the spirit of exploration. I'm so great. No wonder I'm a good youth of the new era. In order to study the truth of history, Li Fan decided to unleash his potential. He slowly lowered his body and used his arms to support his body. Bit by bit, he pressed downwards. Potential. Unlimited potential. Li Fan, you can do it. Believe in yourself. This pure and firm belief supported Li Fan, causing his body to press downwards bit by bit. At the same time, his eyes were about to fall to the ground. He just wanted to explore what the world under this qipao was like. His arms were already a little sore, and his legs were starting to tremble. Li Fan, don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged. The door to a new world is beckoning to you. Chapter 32. Just a little bit more. Li Fan breathed in. Just a little bit more, and he would be able to see the holy light of the new world. All the best. Speaking of which, Morong Ying's legs are really white. I wonder if Lin Uhsin's legs are white. TSK. What is that black thing? It seems like the light is blocking my vision. It doesn't matter. The dark night gave me a pair of black eyes. I will use them to search for the light. Li Fan took out his most resolute belief. As long as one's effort is deep, one can see the bottom of the skirt. Just a little bit more. Li Fan's entire body was almost pressed under the plum blossom stump. This strength had definitely exceeded his limits. Although Li Fan had trained a lot on a daily basis, this action had almost exceeded the limits of the human body. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, Li Fan. You can do it. When Li Fan was about to see through the darkness and understand the beauty of the holy light, Morong Ying suddenly changed the direction of her legs. Her left leg pressed on top of her right leg, once again blocking that beautiful scenery. My God! Li Fan almost collapsed and almost fell on the burning incense. My God! I almost got disfigured. Husband, your ability to press the stump is quite good. Morong Ying finally put down the book in her hand and said slowly, but your guts are getting bigger and bigger. You actually dare to come home so late. Have you forgotten the family rules that I told you about? I say, wife. Call me wife. I say, wife. How can you set house rules for your man? Li Fan felt a little wronged. You want me to come home before 8. Where is my husband's rule? One day when you are stronger than me, you will naturally have the rule. Morong Ying said it straightforwardly. Li Fan felt that he did not even have the meaning to refute. This life was too painful. God, Why did you give me a wife that I can only see but not touch? Most importantly, this wife of his was quite pretty. Wasn't this torture? Li Fan, although your strength has improved a little, it is still far from what I expected. Mu Rong-ing pressed her leg down, blocking the infinitely beautiful holy light. Li Fan sighed regretfully. It was such a pity. His efforts were wasted in an instant. We've been together for more than a month. Mu Rong-ing calculated for a moment. Taiju came down from Li Fan's body and said, "Big sister, you have a good memory. 1 month and 8 days. Damn, your memory is even better. But why do you remember it so clearly?" Li Fan tilted his head slightly and saw Taiju's flushed face. He wanted to burst into tears immediately. Well, it's been such a long time. You should have thought it through. Mu Rong-ing did not care about Li Fan's current thoughts. She continued, "Now you should have thought it through. When are you going to officially marry into my Morong family and use my Morong family surname?" "I don't want to." Li Fan flatly refused. "I understand. Morong Fan is a bit unpleasant to hear." Mu Rong-ing seemed to understand Li Fan's look. "I can help you change your name. You will be called Morong Fan. Isn't it a lot more domineering?" "Fan your sister. You've missed the point." Li Fan shouted in grief and indignation. "Mu Rong-ing, let me tell you, I can cut off my head, I can bleed, but I can't lose my ambition. Even if you get my body, you can't get my heart." "Oh, is that so?" Mu Rong-ing was slightly surprised. "Originally, I wanted to arrange for you to sleep with me tonight. Since you hate me so much, then forget it." "Wife, I suddenly feel that you look very pleasing to the eye." Li Fan's expression suddenly turned serious, and then he said very seriously, "I can feel my deep love for you." Sure enough, after a month of being together, our love has sublimated. "Didn't you say that I can cut off my head, I can bleed, but I can't lose my ambition?" "Wife, how can you say that? You're treating me like an outsider." Li Fan blamed Mu Rong-ing. "We're a family. How can you say that? What ambition do I have with my wife? My wife is meant to be loved. In the future, whatever you say, I will do. If you say go east, I will never go west. If you say touch the dog, I will never steal the chicken. But I seem to have heard that even if I get your body, I can't get your heart." There's still the second half of this sentence. Li Fan jumped down, patted his chest and said, "Ambition is valuable, but love is even more valuable." "Is that what the original sentence said?" Mu Rong-ing raised her eyebrows. "How come I don't remember it being like that?" "That's because you remembered wrongly." Li Fan said very seriously, "Wife, don't just focus on practicing martial arts. You should also strengthen your cultural education. You can't fall behind in cultural education. Husband is doing this for your own good." "That's enough. Don't be so polite." Mu Rong-ing rolled her eyes. "My cultural education level is higher than yours. Hurry up and take a shower, then go to bed. People who practice martial arts must have a strict work and rest schedule. From today onwards, you must cultivate this good habit with me, understand?" "Yes, I promise to complete the task." Li Fan immediately saluted, which made Mu Rong-ing want to laugh, but she held it back. "Go take a shower. I'll wait for you on the bed." Mu Rong-ing had already taken a shower, and her body still had the fragrance of the shower gel. She turned around and went to the bedroom. Li Fan looked at her graceful back view and couldn't help but lick his lips. Good days are finally here. Oh God, you've finally opened your eyes. Li Fan rushed into the bathroom like a mad dog. He rejected Taiju's enthusiastic service at the door and happily took a shower for the first time. As expected of a rock, touching it for a long time would also make it warm. Mu Rong-ing finally agreed to share a bed with him. This was a great breakthrough. A small step for him was a giant leap for mankind. Once they were in bed, wouldn't it be up to him to decide? Women, once they were coaxed into bed by a man, they would really become lambs waiting to be slaughtered. Life was still very beautiful, and his future life would probably be very blissful. "Aya, I don't know how my waist is doing now. Will I not be able to get up tomorrow? This is a small matter. I heard that Min's first time is very fast. Will I be ridiculed by Mu Rong-ing? Aya, I only learned internal and external martial arts, but I forgot to learn some important bedroom techniques." I don't know if Murong's family has such martial arts, so I can learn it well. As a person, he should learn more about things. After all, knowledge is the source of human progress. Li Fan washed himself clean. Indeed, both inside and outside. Sparks were about to appear from the bath towel he used to rub his lower body. This was the first time he used his precious baby, so he must wash it thoroughly. It was like a sacred ceremony was waiting for him. Even if what was waiting for him was a storm, let the storm be more violent. Chapter 33. When Li Fan finished washing up and returned to the room, Murong Ying was indeed already waiting for him on the bed. However, what was slightly different from what he had imagined was that Murong Ying was wearing a somewhat loose nightgown, which covered her graceful figure. It was truly a pity. Wife, seeing that you have been practicing martial arts all year round, I have some knowledge that I have to teach you. Li Fan very seriously said, as a person, sleeping naked is the most healthy and beneficial to the body. Normally, I would not tell this to others. I only told you because we are a couple. Oh, is that so? Murong Ying lied on the bed and crooked her finger at Li Fan. If you want to take off a woman's clothes, then let's see if a man has the ability. Fuck. Didn't she just do it to me? Li Fan's little temper immediately flared up. I am a dignified 7 feet tall man. How can I be caught by a woman? Now, I will let her know what it means to be a man of indomitable spirit. Li Fan took off his shirt and pounced towards Murong Ying on the bed. However, before he had the time to be happy, he stopped his tiger pounce. Because Murong Ying had lifted the quilt. In her hand, she was actually holding her sword, which was emitting a cold aura. The sword's edge was placed in front of his chest. Wife, look at what you are doing. Li Fan dryly laughed twice. He stretched out 2 fingers and gently pinched the ice-cold sword's edge. This is truly a peerless sword. One look and I can tell that it is not an ordinary item. Wife, where did you forge this sword from? I asked the Heavenly Sword Villa to help me fight it. Murong Ying lightly said, Do you want to test how sharp it is? No need to test. No need to test. One look and I can tell the quality. Li Fan laughed. My wife's sword. How could it be bad? However, do we need this kind of lethal weapon in the life of a husband and wife? We are not an ordinary husband and wife. My husband. Murong Ying waved the sword in her hand. If you can defeat my sword and take off my clothes, you can do whatever you want. You're fucking me. As Li Fan spoke, his body shook with true qi, causing the dust in the room to fly up. You've only cultivated for 11 years. Murong Ying didn't seem to take Li Fan seriously. What you learned is a lousy kung fu like the 5 animals play. I'm afraid it's impossible for you to win against my Luoying sword. Are you going to advertise your peerless divine skill again? Li Fan curled his lips. He knew that nothing good would fall from the sky. Why was it so difficult to sleep with his wife? However, speaking of which, the 2 of them were only husband and wife in name. The law did not recognize them, and he had no right to ask Murong Ying to sleep on the same bed with him. I'm telling you, I'm practicing the 5 animal frolics. No one can stop me. Then use your 5 animal frolics to defeat my sword. Murong Ying's temper flared up. She loudly said, You can't even conquer me in bed. Are you still a man? These words really stimulated Li Fan. Then let's give it a try. As Li Fan said that, his true qi circulated throughout his body. After more than a month of exercise, the originally thin and weak Li Fan's body gained a bit more muscle. He lowered his body and opened his hands like a fierce tiger coming down the mountain. His pair of bright eyes stared at Murong Ying on the bed as if he was looking at his prey. Being stared at by Li Fan like this, even Murong Ying could not help but tremble in her heart. In just a month, this high school student actually had such a deep understanding of the 5 animal frolics. Murong Ying felt that even if it was her attainment in the 5 animal frolics was not as deep as Li Fan's. Could an ordinary move really be practiced to such a high level? Previously, Murong Ying had only casually said this to Li Fan. After all, these famous martial arts experts in the world of martial arts, which one of them did not learn a secret art? Almost all of them also had unparalleled divine arts. Li Fan opened his right hand's 5 fingers, and with the sound of breaking air, He grabbed at Morong-ing on the bed like lightning. Black Tiger Steel's heart. This move was particular about speed and ruthlessness. When Li Fan used it, it really did have the power of wind and thunder. Morong-ing turned her treasured sword and pointed it at Li Fan's palm. If Li Fan continued to grab at her, his palm would definitely be pierced. Therefore, Li Fan changed his direction, but Morong-ing's sword seemed to have a tracker. No matter how Li Fan's palm moved, it would be firmly fixed on him. There was only one sword, but Li Fan felt that Morong-ing's body was like a hedgehog, and there was no room for him to attack. After all, she was a woman who had become the leader of the martial arts world. Even if her skills had regressed, her swordsmanship was still so beautiful. At first glance, Morong-ing had flaws all over her body. But on a closer look, there were no weaknesses. Against an expert like Morong-ing, using the tiger form to fight head-on might not work. Li Fan changed his form, and his body became nimble and light like an ape. He jumped and flipped over from the top of the bed. His hands went down, and his whole body pressed down on Morong-ing on the bed. That pair of hands grabbed at Morong-ing's chest. Li Fan was not polite at all, and went straight to the point. Against Morong-ing, if you were polite, she would definitely not be merciful. Sure enough, Morong-ing raised her sword horizontally, blocking in front of Li Fan's hands. But Li Fan's hands slapped the sword, and his body raised his true chi. With the help of the slapping force, he rose a little higher, readjusted his posture, and once again attacked Morong-ing from the air. Morong-ing blocked again, and Li Fan rose again. The two of them tossed and turned for a long time, and finally, Li Fan could not take it anymore. After all, his physical strength was limited. In the end, he panted and fell to the side, leaning on the wall to take a deep breath. You're too shameless. Li Fan thought it was very unfair. Why, you can take the sword, because I'm best at swordsmanship. Morong-ing seemed to be a little proud. Who asked you not to learn other martial arts? Since you didn't succeed, then take care. I won't send you off. She pointed her finger outside the door. Fuck your uncle. Let's wait and see. Li Fan was very unhappy. He was a dignified man, but now he was being bullied by a woman. It was really shameful for a man. No way. He must deal with Morong-ing, or else how could he be a qualified Chinese man? Li Fan walked out of the door in a huff. Taiju was standing at the door. Seeing Li Fan coming out, he was a little surprised. Son-in-law, it's the middle of the night. Where are you going? Training, Li Fan said in a bad mood, then turned his head and went downstairs out of the door. Son-in-law, it's cold outside. Taiju was about to chase after him, but Morong-ing pulled him back. Whatever a man wants to do, let him do it. Taiju was stunned for a moment. Then, we don't care about son-in-law? It's getting cold outside tonight, big miss. He can bear it. Morong-ing turned around and returned to her room. Just when Taiju was in a dilemma, Morong-ing threw out another sentence. Take that red fox robe out and give it to him. Don't let him catch a cold and infect us when he comes back. Yes, big miss. Chapter 34. That night, Li Fan didn't sleep well. Morong-ing, that little devil, was really too torturous. His waist was aching for the whole night. Li Fan practiced for half the night and didn't sleep the whole night. In the morning, his eyes were red as he changed into his school uniform. Damn, it's autumn and it's really cold outside. If it wasn't for his divine protection, he would have been frozen into a popsicle. Even so, Li Fan still felt the cold air wrapping around his body. His hands were cold to the touch. He changed into his school uniform and was about to leave when Taiju brought a bowl of ginger soup to Li Fan. Son-in-law, have some ginger soup? Got it. Li Fan nodded and drank the warm ginger soup in one gulp. He felt a wave of heat spreading in his stomach. This wave of heat quickly dispersed and rushed into Li Fan's internal organs, 7 orifices and 8 meridians. Immediately, his whole body felt refreshed and comfortable, as if he had come back to life. The effect of this ginger soup is really strong. Li Fan wiped the corner of his mouth and couldn't help but ask, why didn't I feel this way before? This is the 5 elements ginger soup that Missy personally brewed. Taiju explained, besides martial arts, Missy is also good at pharmacology. This 5 elements ginger soup can drive away the cold and dampness and replenish the vitality in the body. The effect may not be obvious for ordinary people, but for martial artists, it's really effective. Morong took it? Li Fan raised his eyebrows and stuffed the bowl back into Taiju's hands. No wonder it's so bitter. Give it back to her. I'm going to school. With that, Li Fan unlocked his bicycle. He thought for a while and finally picked up the bicycle, put it on his shoulder, and jogged out of the house. Sigh, this pair of quarrelsome lovers. Taiju held the bowl and stood in the rustling autumn wind, not knowing whether to laugh or cry. Lin Yuhsin also left home early today. Unlike usual, she borrowed a lipstick from her neighbor's sister and secretly put on some lip gloss. After going out, Lin Yuhsin took out a small mirror, looked at herself in the mirror, and tidied her bangs. She put away the mirror, looked around, and pouted. You're so annoying. How can you be late to pick up a girl? Ignore him. Just as Lin Yuhsin finished muttering, a figure ran over from afar, pushing a lady's bicycle. Lin Yuhsin's eyes lit up. She swung her ponytail and ran downstairs. Dr. Lin, didn't we meet at 6 p.m.? Why did you come down at 5:50? Humph. Lin Yuhsin pouted and said unhappily, if you're going on a date with a girl, you have to be there half an hour in advance, so that the girl won't wait for you. Do you understand? But didn't the book say that girls like to be late? Li Fan was a bit confused. That's a girl's business. You just do what a boy should do. Lin Yuhsin's voice went up an octave, and Li Fan quickly submitted. All right, whatever you say. Dr. Lin, my bicycle is a bit old, and the back seat might have a bit of chrome, but you have to bear with it. It's okay. I brought a cushion. Lin Yuhsin was quite smart. She took out a pink heart-shaped cushion from her bag and carefully laid it on the back seat. Oh yeah, didn't you notice something different about me today? After Lin Yuhsin laid the cushion, she suddenly raised her head and asked Li Fan. Li Fan was stunned. What changed? Wasn't she still wearing her school uniform and a ponytail? What the hell? Was she trying to make everyone look for trouble? Li Fan carefully looked at Lin Yuhsin. Her pretty little face was the same as before, and he really couldn't see any changes. Can you tell? Lin Yuhsin continued to ask. You've shaved? Go to hell. You're the one who shaved. Your whole family shaved. Lin Yuhsin almost exploded with anger. This blockhead was really infuriating. Then which part of you changed? My gender changed. Bastard. Lin Yuhsin didn't want to bother with Li Fan anymore. If she wanted to turn this guy into a charming guy that everyone would like, her future was simply too dark. She sat on the back seat angrily, and her 2 long legs were almost touching the ground. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. Women were always hard to guess. He also got on the bicycle and stepped on the pedals. Together with Lin Yuhsin, they jumped out together. Although the bicycle was difficult for people to ride, Li Fan was a martial artist with 11 years of true energy. He rode it easily without any pressure, like a gust of wind. Li Fan rode a little too fast, and Lin Yuhsin subconsciously pulled on the back of his clothes. Li Fan. The two of them were speechless along the way. She finally couldn't take it anymore and said softly, What's your order, Dr. Lin? About your tutoring. I've also thought about it. Lin Yuhsin's voice was still as soft as a mosquito. You're my patient and help me with my medical experiments. Then I should return the favor and help you with tutoring. Really? Li Fan was a little happy. Although he wasn't interested in studying, he didn't want to be the last student. People must have the desire to improve. Especially if there was a campus belle tutoring him, the effect would be better. Then when do we start the tutoring? Let's do it this week, Lin Yuhsin said. After all, we're only in a relationship for this week. Okay, I'll do as you say. Li Fan nodded. He estimated that he could only last a week for tutoring. After a week, he would probably get tired of it. Thinking about it, he really wasn't made for studying. If only he had Lin Yuhsin's brain. Her brain. How did her legs grow? Then every day after school, come to my house for tutoring. Is it good to let your family know? Li Fan was a little surprised. Was Lin Yuhsin's family so open-minded? He couldn't tell. Lin Yuhsin was a very feudal person. It's not like that. My mom gets off work very late. Lin Yuhsin was afraid that Li Fan would misunderstand, so she quickly explained, you can come to my house for an hour every day after school. No problem. Okay then. As long as there was free tutoring, Li Fan didn't want to find his parents. After all, he didn't know where his parents went. Hee. Let's stop here. There was still one more street before the school. Lin Yuhsin pulled Li Fan. Okay, then you ride my bike. I'll walk there myself. Li Fan understood that Lin Yuhsin was afraid that other students would see it and misunderstand. He gave the bike to Lin Yuhsin and walked to the school gate. The two of them arrived early. There weren't many people at the school gate. However, a guy in denim with dyed blonde hair was squatting at the school gate with a cigarette in his mouth. The students nearby avoided him, feeling that he was like a plague. Li Fan looked at him and felt that he looked familiar. He should have seen him somewhere. Unexpectedly, when this blonde saw Li Fan from afar, he immediately threw away the cigarette and walked toward him. Chapter 35. What's the situation? Li Fan subconsciously raises both his fists, ready to fight at any time. A breath of Dantian Qi is also transferred, traveling through Li Fan's meridians. The world around him seemed to have become full. Even the sound of the wind blowing past his ears became so clear. That yellow hair's hand slowly reaches into his pocket. Is he taking out a dagger? Li Fan's eyes emit a dazzling light, like a star in the night. But the yellow hair pulls out a pack of Yushi cigarettes. With a flattering smile on his face, he hands it to Li Fan. Brother, do you smoke? Not here to fight? Li Fan stares blankly for a moment, but quickly withdraws his fist and pushes away the yellow hair's hand. I don't smoke. Brother, don't worry. This is a normal cigarette. Nothing is mixed. The yellow hair thought that Li Fan is wary of him, so he quickly says, I really don't smoke. Say, who are you? My brother. How could you forget about me? The yellow hair quickly points to himself. Did we meet last night? Did you forget? Li Fan frowns, thinking for a moment. He suddenly remembers the yellow hair's face. Oh, you were that swindler? What swindler, brother? You really know how to joke. The yellow hair quickly formally introduces himself. My name is Huang Lei, Sanshirlei. I can calculate and have a bit of cultivation. That's why the people in the underworld call me Huang Banxian. But brother, you can call me Lei Lei. As long as you are happy, you can call me son. Fuck, this is too cheap. Li Fan subconsciously takes 2 steps back to avoid being contaminated by this Huang Lei's cheap aura. I don't have a son like you. Why are you looking for me? Li Fan asks, but unexpectedly Huang Lei pats his clothes and then directly kneels down in front of Li Fan. Brother, when I saw you yesterday, I was impressed by your spirit. So today, I, Huang Lei, will take you as my master. Master, please accept me. Huang Lei did what he said. He really kowtowed 3 times to Li Fan. The surrounding students were all watching the commotion. Why was this hooligan kowtowing to a student? Li Fan was also a little flustered. It was his first time dealing with such a matter. Get up. Don't mess around. Li Fan saw the dean's figure from afar. If he found out, he didn't know how to deal with him. No. If master doesn't acknowledge me, I won't get up. Huang Lei, this little punk. Although he looked slippery, he was very stubborn. He actually kowtowed to Li Fan. More and more people gathered, and the dean's figure was getting closer and closer. All right, I promise you. Li Fan felt like he was being forced into marriage. What a bloody mother. Master, I was waiting for you to say that. Huang Lei smiled and stood up. I'll help you get rid of these people. With that said, he fiercely roared at the surrounding people. Look at you motherfuckers. Get out of here. With his scolding, these students immediately scattered like birds and beasts. Li Fan was also able to escape and directly ran towards the class. Master, where are you going? Huang Lei was a little anxious. He had just become master's disciple. Why did his master run away? Who wants to be your master? Goodbye. Li Fan was just stalling for time. He didn't want to be a hooligan's master. Wasn't this a joke? He would never have any relationship with these people. Li Fan took advantage of his fast speed and quickly left Huang Lei behind. Huang Lei angrily stomped his feet at the school gate. He fiercely lit a cigarette and said, "Master, you can't run away. I will definitely make you acknowledge me as your disciple." When Li Fan returned to the class, there was still some lingering fear in his heart. It seemed that this Huang Lei wanted to stop him. He wasn't afraid of fighting with him. After all, he was not his opponent. What he was afraid of was that he would pester him. He estimated that he couldn't leave the school gate. At night, he would bring Lin to the side gate. Last night, he was too tired. Li Fan couldn't bear it anymore. During class, he fell asleep on the table. As for such a poor student, the teacher had long since stopped caring about him, allowing him to sleep soundly in the last row. After sleeping for a few classes, his desk mate suddenly shook him awake. Li Fan, not good. What happened? Earthquake? Li Fan drowsily rubbed his eyes. In his dream, he was whipping Morong Yang. When he was shaken awake, he was very unhappy. Outside is a mess. What happened? Li Fan curled his lips. If you lie to me, I'll pinch you to death. He was angry when he woke up, but his desk mate was just a four-eyed boy. He was scared and trembled. They said that Li Fan is now a hooligan who bullies others and acts like a tyrant in school. It seems that it is true. I didn't lie to you. You see for yourself. There were already several students lying on the other side of the window. These students didn't even go to class and left the teacher on the podium. The teacher did not care about his students. He hurriedly ran out of the classroom. As for Li Fan, he rubbed his eyes and moved closer. Brothers, make way. Let me take a look. Li Fan was blocked by the crowd, but no one paid attention to him. Make way, can you? Li Fan's voice was raised by an octave. Several students in front turned around and rolled their eyes. But when they saw it was Li Fan, they were scared to the point of peeing. There was a big window in front. All the students scattered to the sides, leaving an empty space for Li Fan. Li Fan scratched the back of his head, thinking, why are these students so polite today? He moved closer to the window and was immediately dumbfounded. What the fuck? What is this situation? He saw Huang Lei standing on the playground, pushing a cart with several buckets of feces on it. Huang Lei held the loudspeaker in one hand and a wooden ladle in the other as he shouted, Li Fan, come out. Quickly come out. Huang Lei shouted through the loudspeaker while using the wooden ladle to scoop up a spoonful of feces and then threw it toward the window of the school building. Oh! Several windows downstairs were splashed with feces, causing the girls inside to scream in fear. Several school security guards wanted to step forward, but Huang Lei waved the wooden ladle and the feces splashed, scaring them away. Damn, this is not a biological weapon. Li Fan, quickly come out. Otherwise, I will stain second high with feces today. Huang Lei shouted at the top of his lungs. He was really going all out. He had been in the underworld for so many years, and this was the first time he saw such a good student. As long as he followed him and learned a few moves, he would definitely be successful. He had caused a ruckus in school. Even if he was caught, it would only be 15 days. What was there to be afraid of? It's not like he had never been there before. Huang Lei scooped up another spoonful of feces and threw it toward the school building. If he did not see Li Fan today, he swore he would not give up. Li Fan, don't be a coward. Come out. Li Fan was hesitating, thinking that this Huang Lei was obviously a rogue, and it would be difficult to deal with him. But at this moment, the classroom door was pushed open, and the principal walked in while wiping his cold sweat. He saw Li Fan and scolded him. Li Fan, look at what you have done. Chapter 36. The principal had been quite nervous recently. The school was about to be reshuffled, and the new leadership was being finalized. The new principal would be elected soon. If he wanted to be re-elected, he could not afford any trouble at this critical juncture. For the past few days, the principal could be said to be tense and cautious, afraid that something would go wrong. But at this critical juncture, something actually happened. A hooligan had barged into the school and splashed feces everywhere. The impact was extremely bad. He found this student named Li Fan and berated him loudly. His expression was unfriendly, as though he wanted to vent his anger on Li Fan. As a student of this school, you didn't study properly and provoked this kind of hooligan. The principal's spittle splattered everywhere. Li Fan took 2 steps back to avoid being implicated. Get your parents here. I want to deal with your problem seriously. Li Fan raised his eyebrows unhappily. Principal, you're looking for my parents? I still need to look for your leader. What did you say? The principal was stunned, as though he did not expect Li Fan to say this. As a student of this school, I go to school on time every day, and I have never caused any trouble. I don't know why, but a hooligan came looking for me. Furthermore, this is such a big school. How do the security guards work? How could they let a hooligan barge in? As the principal, is this how you protect us students? Everyone is here to learn. How can we, the students, and our parents, be at ease in such a dangerous learning environment? Li Fan spoke eloquently, which made the principal dumbfounded. Students, can you be at ease in such a school? Li Fan brought out the power of class struggle. He waved his arm and shouted, and the surrounding students also followed suit. We can't be at ease. We want an explanation. These students already had a deep grudge against the school. At this moment, with someone taking the lead, they immediately followed suit and shouted. The principal desperately wiped his cold sweat with a handkerchief. The students' shouts became louder and louder, covering the shouts of Huang Lei, who was splashing feces outside. In a while, even the ceiling would be lifted. The form teacher arrived like a savior. She slammed the desk and roared, "All of you, shut up! Are you trying to rebel?" The teacher's prestige among the students was generally higher than that of the principal. Once she showed her power, the students would all be well behaved. Li Fan, what's going on? The form teacher questioned Li Fan. Li Fan shrugged his shoulders. I don't know either. I'm a victim too. Teacher, principal, you have to protect me. The principal and the homeroom teacher looked at each other. Both of them were in a difficult position. Who was protecting who? The person who splashed feces downstairs was clearly a troublemaker. The security guard downstairs had already threatened to call the police, but the hooligan was dismissive. He said that he would be locked up for 15 days at most. After 15 days, he would continue to pour feces. How could the school stand him making such a ruckus? This was especially so for the headmaster. He was about to be replaced, so he absolutely could not allow such a mistake to happen. Li Fan, since he has come to find you, you should go and meet him, the headmaster suddenly said to Li Fan. Headmaster, what did you say? Did I hear that right? Li Fan was a bit surprised. The headmaster actually asked him to go out? I'm your student. You actually want me to go out and meet that hooligan? You can rest assured, Li Fan. I will definitely protect your personal safety. The headmaster patted Li Fan's shoulder and said, I will let the security guard follow you to protect you. Protect my ass. When they see feces, they would hide far away. Okay? For his own personal benefit, this headmaster is going to sacrifice the school students? Li Fan felt a burst of sadness in his heart. But after thinking about it, it was indeed so. The school was just like this. In the past, the school would perform something like that and let the students perform outside in the rain while a group of school leaders would sit on the chairs with umbrellas to watch. Student Li Fan, look at this. How can the school continue its classes like this? Don't tell me you don't even care about your classmates? The headmaster continued to ask, and a student next to him clapped his hands. It's okay. We don't want to attend classes. The homeroom teacher fiercely glared at the student. The student was so scared that he didn't say anything and shrunk his neck. Li Fan frowned. To be honest, compared to provoking a troublemaker like Huang Lei, he would rather fight with a martial artist like Liao Bing. At least it would be fun. Student Li Fan, you can't be so selfish. The headmaster continued to criticize. Besides, a fly doesn't bite a seamless egg. It takes 2 hands to clap. If you don't provoke him, will he come to you? Why didn't he come to me? Li Fan, you can't waste everyone's time because of you. Li Fan was completely speechless. He was defeated by the headmaster's strong logic. Headmaster, what you mean is, if one day you were killed by someone, and your family reported it to the police could also say it. Why did he only kill the headmaster and not me? This is not the same thing. This is the same thing. Li Fan said loudly. This bunch of teachers and leaders in your school are all like this. They only care about themselves and don't even try to understand the students. When a student gets bullied and comes to you, you will only say, "Why did they bully you and not me?" Isn't this nonsense? When I come to you, you will only ask, "What are you doing?" He slammed the table. You don't want to care about the students' affairs and don't want to support us, right? Fine. I'll handle it myself. I'll treat you as dead people. Trash. With that, Li Fan kicked open the classroom door and walked away. The students beside him couldn't help but applaud and cheer. Although Li Fan wasn't a good student, he did say what everyone was thinking. His deskmate, Xiao Si, even had tears in his eyes. This was because he was often bullied by a few students in class and even asked for money. If they didn't give, they would beat them up. If they gave, they could only starve. When he complained to the teacher curled his lips. Why did they bully you? Why didn't they bully me? Or is there something wrong with you? At this moment, Li Fan said what they were thinking. It was really delightful. The students kept applauding and cheering. This time, even the homeroom teacher couldn't suppress it. The headmaster was trembling with anger. He pointed at the classroom door and shouted, This kind of student. Expel. He must be expelled. Headmaster, who are you going to expel? Murong Ying's figure appeared at the classroom door. This young and beautiful woman made the headmaster somewhat afraid. Her appearance also made the class quiet down. Director Murong, why are you here? The headmaster was a little surprised. Why can't I come? That's not it. It's quite lively here. Who are you going to expel? Murong Ying continued to ask with a smile. Of course it's Li Fan. Oh, why? He disregarded the school rules and offended the teachers. The headmaster waved his hand and defined Li Fan. Is that so? Murong Ying smiled sweetly. The boys were stunned. There are students in the school who are being harassed by gangsters. Not only did the school not help, but they also want to expel the victim. Not bad, not bad. This way of dealing with it really makes me look at it in a new light. She paused for a moment, looked at the headmaster's slightly frightened eyes and continued, It seems that I have to reconsider the matter of the new headmaster. Chapter 37. The principal's cold sweat dripped down as if he was in a sauna. He couldn't stop it and felt that his pants were wet. He had lived for so many years, and this was the first time he was so embarrassed in front of a young man. But this young man decided his fate, so he could only admit defeat. That? Director Murong, maybe I didn't handle it well. The principal wiped his cold sweat and said, Li Fan sacrificed himself for us and dared to fight with the criminals. He is a good example for all of us. I have decided to protect Li Fan's safety and prepare to hold a commendation ceremony for Li Fan. Let all of the teachers and students learn from Li Fan's spirit. The surrounding students were all taken aback. He was indeed the principal. He was really arrogant. There's no need for a commendation ceremony. Just don't expel the students from the school. Murong Ying dropped this sentence and turned to leave. The principal finally heaved a sigh of relief. At the same time, he was still muttering in his heart. Does this Li Fan have some background or something? Murong Ying had been alarmed by the news of his expulsion? Or could it be that Murong Ying just wanted to find an excuse to let him step down? No matter which answer it was, he had to be more careful. Quick, take a look at how Li Fan is. Find a few strong security guards to accompany him. The principal ordered his secretary. This secretary had a good figure and looked like a flower vase. She pushed her glasses and said with a frown, Principal, our security guards are all old, weak, sick and disabled. Old, weak, sick and disabled? Yes, it's your relatives. The third uncle and second uncle in your hometown? Damn it. The principal pressed his temples. He had a terrible headache. He really didn't expect that the people he arranged would cause him so much trouble. No matter what, send someone to follow him. Don't let him be in danger. The principal ordered. The secretary nodded and went to arrange people to follow Li Fan. At this time, Li Fan naturally didn't know that Murong Ying had helped him. He had already rushed out of the school building and came to the playground. Master! Seeing Li Fan appear, Huang Lei was very excited. The wooden ladle in his hand trembled a little, and the fecal water splashed everywhere. Huang Lei, calm down. Li Fan quickly said to Huang Lei. Calm down, don't get excited. Master, if I'm right, you'll definitely come out. Huang Lei was indeed a little excited. I won't be wrong. This has nothing to do with your calculations, okay? Li Fan wanted to cry but had no tears. This pile of shit is much more effective than your divination. Hee, master. You wouldn't have come out if you didn't do this. Huang Lei placed the wooden ladle on the trolley beside him and then looked at Li Fan shyly. Master, do I look like a superstar today? Superstar your sister. Li Fan couldn't help but complain. The feces in your hands are the real stars. If you do this, how am I going to survive in school? And yourself, aren't you afraid of being arrested by the police? At most, I'll be locked up for 15 days. Huang Lei said indifferently. It's just a few days in the detention center. What's there to be afraid of? But if I miss my fate with Master, my intestines will turn green with regret. Damn it. Li Fan felt a deep sense of foreboding. This Huang Lei is not ordinary. If some hooligans are troublemakers, then Huang Lei is the fighting meat of the troublemakers. This guy is simply invincible. He can't be cut with a knife or fried with oil. Master, please accept me. Huang Lei began to promote himself. If you accept me, there will be endless benefits. What do I need you for? To fertilize the Zhuang family. Li Fan was so angry that he laughed. Also, what about your brothers? I gave them some severance pay and let them all go home. Huang Lei explained. Even I, the big brother, have to be a little brother. How can I take care of the younger brothers? I've already thought about it. I'll learn from Master. As long as I can learn a few moves from Master, it will be enough for me to roam the underworld. I'm just a student. There's nothing to teach you. Li Fan saw the security guards approaching again, and there were many students watching from all around. Li Fan didn't want to cause a sensation in the school. He tried to chase Huang Lei away. Leave quickly. If you come and make trouble again, I'll be angry. Master, please accept me. Huang Lei saw the security guard sneaking up. He raised his wooden ladle, and the security guard fell to the ground in fright. He continued to say to Li Fan, as long as Master accepts me, I'll do anything. I really don't accept disciples. I haven't mastered my own kung fu yet. Thinking about his defeat to Morong last night, Li Fan's heart was in a bad mood. No problem. Then we won't be master and disciple. I'll be your little brother. Huang Lei immediately smiled and said, from today onwards, I'll be your little brother and you'll be my big brother. Come on. You're almost a 3-zhang man. I'm not even 20, okay? Li Fan almost collapsed. Big brother, you might not understand. In this line of work, what matters is experience, not age. Huang Lei explained. As long as Big Brother agrees, I'll follow you in the future. Whatever Big Brother says, I'll listen. You said that? Li Fan rolled his eyes and came up with an idea. Yes, Big Brother, as long as you say it. I, Huang Banxian, come from the fire and go to the water. Fine. Drink this feces. Li Fan pointed at the feces bucket and said. Huang Lei was dumbfounded. He dryly laughed twice. Big Brother, you're not playing with me, right? Since you want to be my disciple, you have to obey my rules. Li Fan put his hands behind his back and pretended to be mature. He didn't really want Huang Lei to eat feces. He just wanted Huang Lei to back off. Good. I, Huang Lei, will go all out today. I, Huang Banxian, have eaten anything but feces. Today, I'll taste the taste of feces. Unexpectedly, Huang Lei tore off his coat, rolled up his sleeves, picked up a wooden ladle, and scooped up a big scoop of feces. As if he was looking death in the eye, he brought it to his mouth. The surrounding security guards couldn't help but spit it out. Li Fan picked up a small stone and flicked it. With a pop sound, Huang Lei felt pain in his wrist. The wooden ladle fell to the ground, and the feces spilled in front of his feet. Fine. I'm convinced. Li Fan was completely convinced by Huang Lei. Although this Huang Lei's ability wasn't that good, he was really a pain in the ass. You find a place to stay for a while. At noon, I'll look for you at the billiard hall behind the school. It was still class time. Li Fan decided to chat with Huang Lei after school at noon. Fine, big brother. Don't worry. I promise I'll be there on time. Huang Lei was very happy. Ha ha ha, I knew it. Today, I did a divination and it's guaranteed to be a success. Thank you, Taishang Lao Jun. You should thank your feces bucket. Quickly go. Chapter 38. The school did not pursue Huang Lei's responsibility. After all, the school did not want to provoke a hooligan like him. If you provoked him, you would be locked up for a few days, and when you were released, you would still look for trouble. Moreover, it was not good to spread this kind of matter. He just ordered the cleaning staff to start cleaning the campus. But Li Fan did not care about these things. He slept in the classroom until noon, ready to meet Huang Lei. He was just a student. He did not understand why Huang Lei wanted to follow him. But since he had an appointment with him, he must keep his word. If a man did not keep his word, then it would not be called a mouth, it would be called a door. Li Fan put on his school uniform and was about to go out when he met Lin Yuhsian at the classroom door. At this time, Lin Yuhsian seemed to be a little angry and blocked Li Fan's way. When the other students saw them, they did not dare to say anything and walked around. Wang Cheng also happened to pass by. When he saw Li Fan, he was so scared that he turned around and ran. Dr. Lin, why are you here? This is not the time for our appointment, right? Li Fan looked at his watch. It was 11:50. Didn't they agree to meet at night? During the day on campus, they would pretend not to know each other. Lin Yuhsian was probably the only one who could think of such a secret agent-level way of dating. But Lin Yuhsian stopped Li Fan and said, "Where are you going?" "To eat." "Why? You even care about your boyfriend's meal?" Li Fan said casually. "Nonsense. You're obviously going to see that hooligan." Lin Yuhsian frowned and said, "Li Fan, didn't you promise me that you would change yourself? Where's your determination?" "Yeah, I'm changing." "Then you're not allowed to see him." Lin Yuhsian was exasperated. "I'm your girlfriend. If I don't let you go, you're not allowed to go." "It's a man's business. Women shouldn't talk about it." Li Fan dodged Lin Yuhsian's arm. "Don't meddle in what I've decided. You're hopeless." Lin Yuhsian looked at Li Fan's back view and stomped her feet angrily. "I don't care about you anymore." Li Fan was too lazy to care about Lin Yuhsian. Did this girl really think of herself as his girlfriend? It seemed that she was too engrossed in being a doctor. He didn't know why she was so serious about cosplay. Moreover, even if Lin Yuhsian was his girlfriend, he was being too controlling. It was enough to have an overbearing Morong Ying. Li Fan didn't want to add more trouble to himself. Women just like to take a mile when given an inch. Give them a little sunshine and they'll be brilliant. As promised, he came to the billiard hall at the back of the school. Li Fan's billiard skills weren't that good. However, when he was in his first year of high school, he had played with other boys in his class a few times. The billiard hall wasn't big. It could only fit 4 billiard tables. It was filled with idle people and students who were here to skip classes. Basically, there was no one who didn't smoke here. Therefore, when Li Fan came in, the place was filled with smoke. It was as if he had entered a paradise on earth. 2 ruffian students saw Li Fan coming in and exchanged glances. These 2 students were called Zhang Dingxiang and Sun Zheng. Both of them didn't study and didn't go to class. Basically, they would come to the billiard hall in the morning. When they saw students coming in, they would pick the weaker ones and ask for money. Li Fan wasn't strong either. He looked like an ordinary student. In their eyes, he was a typical moving treasury. They stepped forward and blocked Li Fan's way. Sun Zheng's hair was dyed in a variety of colors. In Li Fan's eyes, he looked like a hairy chicken. He stepped forward and put his arm around Li Fan's shoulder. He said like a ruffian, "Classmate, can I borrow some money to spend?" Li Fan frowned slightly. The reason why he didn't come to the billiard hall in the future was that there would always be some shady students here. He was about to lose his temper when a shout came from the side. "What are you doing?" Sun Zheng and Zhang Dingxiang turned their heads. When they saw Huang Lei walking over, they immediately shrank their necks. "Brother Lei. Fuck. How could you treat my big brother? Let go of me. I don't want your claws anymore." Huang Lei roared. The 2 students hurriedly let go of Li Fan. They looked a little flustered. Although the two of them were doing well in school, how could they be compared with the people in the society outside? Seeing a troublemaker like Huang Lei, they had to call him brother and behave themselves. You're doing quite well. Li Fan couldn't help but mutter. That's right. I, Huang Banxian, am a dragon in a city. Huang Lei slapped his thigh and boasted, that year, I was carrying a machete and chased Chen Si for 8 streets. Chen Si was a famous mafia boss in a city with a legendary history. Later, because of the crackdown, he was punished by the government. Li Fan immediately curled his lips. You chased Chen Si? Why don't you say that you chased Chiang Kai-shek and chopped half of China? When Chen Si was alive, you were still in primary school. Hee hee. Anyway, that's what I meant. Wang Lei touched the back of his head and then clapped his hands. Big brother, you haven't eaten yet, right? I'll buy it for you. With that, he picked up a bag of steaming hot buns from the billiard table. Big brother, I bought this from the Sun family's bun shop. Try it. The Sun family's bun shop? Isn't that the one on West Street? Li Fan was a little surprised. This bun shop was quite famous in a city, but it only opened one in West City, which was quite far away. Yeah, buying lunch for Big Brother is what I should do. Wang Lei's respectful attitude towards Li Fan confused the 2 delinquent students next to him. What was the identity of this ordinary-looking student? Big brother, eat it while it's hot. Huang Lei handed over the bun, but Li Fan subconsciously took 2 steps back and stared at Huang Lei's hand. Huang Lei immediately understood and quickly said, Big brother, don't worry, I washed my hands. I used a whole bar of soap, and my hands were almost exposed. Okay, thank you. Li Fan took the bun, glanced at it, and saw Huang Lei's Adam's apple move. He knew what to do. You haven't eaten yet, right? I'll give you 2. The Sun family's bun shop's buns were quite big. Li Fan handed 2 to Huang Lei, but Huang Lei quickly shook his head. How can I share with Big Brother? No, don't talk nonsense, just eat it. Then I won't stand on ceremony with Big Brother. Huang Lei took the 2 buns and wolfed them down as if he hadn't eaten for a few days. Your buns. Are you blackmailed? Li Fan looked at the fragrant buns in his hand and couldn't help but ask suspiciously, Big brother, how can you say that? Even a thief has a code. Besides, West City is not my territory. How can I blackmail others? Isn't that blind? After Huang Lei said this, Li Fan was relieved. He was indeed hungry, so he swallowed the remaining 2 steamed buns in one mouthful. Big brother, now you accept me, right? Huang Lei wiped his hands on his pants and looked at Li Fan with anticipation. You've only passed the first level. There's still one more. Li Fan looked at the billiard table. Play a game with me. If you win, I'll accept you as my little brother. How about it? The 2 students next to him were shocked. Who is this student? He actually made Brother Lei beg to be his little brother. Too awesome. Chapter 39. Play billiards? Sure. Huang Lei immediately cheered up. Big brother, you're giving me a chance. I'm not good at other things, but I'm good at billiards. Let me tell you, I don't want to show my face in public. If I play billiards, Ding Junhui will starve to death. You can forget about it. Li Fan curled his lips. This Huang Lei was too good at bragging. He could blow a hole in the sky. Big brother, why don't you believe me? Today, I'll show you what the little prince of billiards is like. Billiards in a city were generally played with green cases. The 4 billiards tables in the room were full, but when Huang Lei came over, 2 students immediately moved aside. Huang Lei still had some deterrence in this area, but most of the people who were afraid of him were these hooligans. The real gangsters didn't seem to take Huang Lei seriously. Huang Lei took out a cigarette, and Sun Zhang, who was next to him, quickly took out a lighter and lit it for Huang Lei. Brat, a Zippo lighter. Where did you get it? I got it from my old man. Sun Zhang smiled, and Huang Lei put the lighter in his pocket. Okay, lend it to me for 2 days. Brother Lei, let me follow you. Sun Zhang immediately said. Let me think about it. Huang Lei blew out a smoke ring and said respectfully to Li Fan, Big brother, you start first? Brother, I'll help you set the ball. Zhang Dingxiang immediately ran to set the ball for Li Fan, and he was very serious. Li Fan was speechless. Why were these people so stubborn? Why didn't they study hard? How could they mingle in the underworld? With Huang Lei's current state, what kind of development could there be? They couldn't even afford lunch. Was it really interesting? Li Fan picked up the cue and asked, Huang Lei, what's the point of you mingle in the underworld? Is this kind of life good? Of course. Big brother. When he heard Li Fan's question, Huang Lei immediately said, one day, when I become a big brother, my life will be better. And no matter where you go, people will respect you. This life is so beautiful. Incomprehensible. Li Fan shook his head and leaned on the table. A few students gathered around to watch the commotion. Some of these hooligan students even brought their girlfriends. Girls nowadays, when they were young, might have a mentality of worship towards these kinds of hooligans. But after a few years, he would regret it. These girls were also wearing the school uniform of number 2 middle school, but they were wearing short shorts and skirts, which did not conform to the school rules at all. Li Fan muttered to himself. It was already autumn. Didn't they feel cold? He stared at his cue stick, completely engrossed. In the past, Li Fan did not play very well. At that time, his shots were not very stable. Sometimes, his aim was quite accurate, but when he hit, it would be crooked. But now, it was different. After Li Fan began to practice martial arts, his hands and feet were much more stable. He didn't easily make a move, but his moves were like thunder. Dang! His cue shot out like a bullet, leaving an afterimage as it hit the white ball. The white ball drew a white light and crashed heavily into its colorful companion. Li Fan's strength was not small. All the billiard balls exploded and flew in all directions. With this first shot, Li Fan directly hit 6 balls. This kind of situation was too rare. Huang Lei seemed to feel something was wrong and swallowed his saliva. Li Fan hit more balls. He aimed at the next ball, which happened to be in a straight line, facing the distant hole. So straight, can it work? A female student stood behind the hole. Seeing that Li Fan's movement was not very standard, she curled her lips. The straighter the ball, the harder it is to hit. Listen to me, use less strength. Let the ball be near the hole is the safest. Li Fan was too lazy to pay attention to her. He aimed at the hole between the female student's legs, and then the cue stick suddenly shot out. Bang! That ball, like a cannonball, hit the hole. The spinning ball bounced more than 1 meter high, scaring the female student into screaming and sitting on the ground. The ball spun in the air for a while, and then obediently fell back into the hole. What the? Huang Lei felt his scalp tingling. His big brother's technique was simply too amazing. Is this kung fu billiards? The strength seems to be a bit big. Li Fan sighed, found his feeling again, and aimed at the next ball. Dang! This time, the ball neatly entered the hole, without any sloppiness. Huang Lei wiped his cold sweat. Li Fan hit the last ball into the hole, and then aimed at the 8 ball. Huang Lei began to be nervous. If this ball went in, then all his previous efforts would be wasted. But the position of the 8 ball was difficult to hit. It was blocked by the color ball. Although Li Fan's shot was steady, he was at a disadvantage when it came to skill. Sure enough, after shooting, the white ball drew a circle on the table, and finally did not touch the 8 ball. Huang Lei was relieved, but soon his nerves tensed up again. His big brother only had 1 8 ball left, but he still had 5 balls to hit. He took a deep breath, and then began to stomp on the ground. His whole body trembled, and his 2 eyeballs rolled up. Damn, what happened? Did he go crazy? Li Fan was shocked, and the students next to him said enviously, No way, this is Brother Lei inviting a god to possess him. Inviting a god to possess him? I think he is crazy. He should let Lin take a look at him. Sigh, I don't know if Lin Yudesign is still angry at me, this stubborn little girl. Huang Lei seemed to have gone crazy. He pinched 2 fingers with one hand and pointed between his eyebrows. Old Lord Taishang, show yourself. Come on. Li Fan's forehead was definitely covered in sweat. He could not help but ask, Old Lord Taishang can play billiards? He's a god. He's omnipotent. Huang Lei said resolutely, Don't mention billiards. I can even shoot airplanes. He really knows how to bullshit. Li Fan was speechless. Although Huang Lei's mouth was not serious, he was decent when playing billiards. He extinguished his cigarette and leaned over the table, his pair of small eyes extremely focused. Compared to a fierce player like Li Fan, Huang Lei was more like an old player who had been playing billiards for many years. When he played, he did not have that sloppy look, as if he was a different person. Just like what Huang Lei said, his billiard skills were quite good, and he put 5 balls into his pocket in a row. Similarly, there was only one black 8 left. In the past, Huang Lei would bet a few hundred yuan with others, but today he was unprecedentedly nervous. This ball was unprecedentedly heavy. It was like a mountain, pressing down on Huang Lei's heart. "I must enter," Huang Lei shouted. "Old Lord Taishang bless me." With that, he aimed at the black 8 and shot out. "Brother Lei, come on, if you win, I'll let you fuck me for a night." A fat girl with dyed green hair said excitedly, "You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.